Okay, so where do I start, man? I just want to give a big thank you to all the businesses and personal brands that have been sponsoring the Half Court podcast, that have been following us throughout this journey. Man, I have no words to describe the support, the love, and just helping each other out, man. It's been big. It's been overwhelming, and it's been amazing, man. Thank you guys for letting us grow and giving you guys value. We're going to keep coming up with more content. We're more motivated than ever. But I want to give a big shout out to my man, George De La Tapes, for encouraging us to start these sponsors. He believed in us from the start, and he came up with this idea. So big shout out to him and the Supreme Barbering team. Thank you, man, once again. Thank you to all the personal brands, small businesses. We're going to keep growing, man. Boom. And now for our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Padrino. Who are they, you may ask? La banda más caliente en OKC. You can count on a group of very talented guys that can bring life to your party or event with live performance. I'm talking about quinces, weddings, restaurants, grand openings for businesses or personal brands, events, you name it. They are counting on high quality, and you're talking about music to make you drink and dance. Like, listen to this, man. Where's my beer? Let's get to the dancing, man. Ooh. Yeah. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Padrino, the hottest band in OKC. We'll leave their information in the description down below, also with their phone numbers. Make sure you contact them for your special event, and I promise you the energy and the vibes are going to be there. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is Padrino. And our next sponsor is AR&T Photography. 3 talented and professional photographers ready to capture memories that you will remember for a lifetime. And right now, they are running one hell of a promotion. When you purchase one of their exclusive packages, you can bring a friend with you, which means that they're going to get a photo shoot, a free one. You pay for it, your friend gets it for free. It can't get any better than that, right? It can't get any better than that, right? I'm telling you, these people will deliver you high quality photography, high quality pictures, and their turnaround rate is immediately. Like, you'll get those pictures, bam, like that. And I promise you, you're going to like it. So let them know that the Half Court podcast sent you guys, and take advantage of this promo, because I'm telling you, it is one hell of a deal. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is AR&T Photography. All the information will be in the description down below, and hit them up. Boom. Last but not least, our final sponsor for today's episode is brought to you by Callus Leather. Callus Leather makes one of the best leather wallets in the city. It's handmade, hand-stitched, and they even add your personal logo. They add like a stamp to it, which makes it look It is so good that even me and AV had to get one made. And we are excited. I'm telling you, this guy, we had him in the podcast. This guy is passionate about what he does. He is a master. He knows what he's doing. He loves this craft. Go out and check out his Instagram. Go out and check out his YouTube channel. He's putting content out there. He's dedicated to this business. And pretty soon he's going to be working on leather sunglass cases. And for the ladies, he's doing purses pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. Support your locals, man. My guy, Rolando, big shout out to him for supporting us, for sponsoring us. And also, he's been on the podcast. So if you want to check out his business and what he does, check out episode 26 of the Half Court podcast, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is Callus Leather. Boom. Take it away. It is reborn, man. I'm just going to say it. It's just reborn, man. What is Gucci, Mano Cheese? Welcome to the Half Court podcast. If everybody that's been listening or watching our podcast, big shout out to you guys.
Me everywhere we reppin' Half Court, Half Court. You know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. What is Gucci, Mano Cheese? Welcome to the Half Court podcast. I am Darwin. We got AV behind the camera, and today we got attorney Javier Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
I got it right, Mike?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Man, this is probably one of the few I get right. That's
Last
crazy.
time he called the homie a leather boy.
I heard that. Yeah.
Man, shout out to my guy Rolando, man. Kallused Leather. Yeah. He going hard, but he's actually one of our sponsors today. So yeah. Hey, brother. So welcome to the podcast. introduce yourself and tell the people what you do.
For sure, man. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Thank you, AB, for setting it all up. You know, my name is Javier Hernandez. I am an attorney. I'm Oklahoma's first undocumented attorney. What I've done with, you know, being a lawyer, being in law school and all of that, and now that I'm out of law school, we handle immigration law. I do all the immigration work in our office. We handle personal injury, contracts, family law. A lot of it just kind of pieces together. If you're immigration, sometimes you have a family matter going on, or family, you need to get a divorce, so you can get remarried, get your immigration stuff going. A lot of different things that we do.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going fast, bro.
Yeah,
That was
bro.
smooth as hell.
It was.
He said, I am the first undocumented.
I wanted to get to that. I was like,
attorney.
whoa.
And then he said, how?
I'm trying to process. I'm like, wait a minute. You're telling me that you're the first undocumented attorney
Yes, sir.
in Oklahoma.
Como?
That's tight.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm here to share with y'all. That's why I'm
sir.
happy y'all brought me on, man. I really appreciate that.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bro, this is, I mean,
We keep striving, man.
This is crazy.
I'm telling you, man. There's no limits. There's no limits.
undocumented lawyer.
Yeah, you
Undocumented,
heard that?
brother.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. So explain to the people a little bit about that.
No
How
doubt.
did you even get into all this? And
Yeah. Well, I say first undocumented attorney in Oklahoma because there are other attorneys around the U.S. I think Florida and New York were the first two states that had that battle. But as far as my story goes, you know, I arrived to the U.S. when I was one. So this is home. Oklahoma has been home for the last 27 years. I'm 28 today. I've been 28 for a little while. But I started working with an attorney as a translator, interpreter back in 2010. And he's the one that has guided me, mentored me through the whole process. And 2012 came around, and that was when DACA came about. I was at Mid-America Christian University. And that's when I first kind of started thinking I can do something with my life, right?
I have a quick question. Sorry to interrupt. This just came out, and I've been wanting to ask this. So before DACA, like, how were you doing it? Like, as far as like, could you still work or go to school and stuff like that?
So,
Good question.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
question.
I've been curious about it.
Absolutely. No, so I'll backtrack a little bit. So
Because Obama was the one that did bring, all right, let's bring this
Yeah.
Dreamer Act and stuff. And
No doubt, yeah. So I'll backtrack a little bit to my high school days, right? So OLAP, Oklahoma's Promise, y'all probably heard of it a little bit, but it was tuition to help you go to school. You had to apply sometime between 8th and 10th grade, and at that time you weren't required to be a U.S. citizen or a resident. So whenever that first came about, I was at Dove Science Academy, and they're like, you know, everyone apply it. It's a college prep course, so everybody's ready thinking about school. And so I started applying, and that was the first time I ever really thought about what it meant to be undocumented. So the question, I was like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. So I take it home, talk to my parents. They're like, yeah, you were born in Mexico. Like,
Valió verga, mijo.
yeah, basically, right? They're like, no
Yeah.
tienes papeles, you know, you're not going to be able to get a driver's license, all of that. So, you
Wait,
know,
how old were you when they broke the bubble?
I was 13.
13. Okay,
13,
so you were
yeah.
aware.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't understand government. I didn't understand what it meant to be undocumented. I didn't know that the U.S. government was going to have any type of say over what I did, right? Because I'm a Mexican. El gobierno de aquí, nothing, you know, whatever. And so, you know, I started applying for colleges and all that as I got to my senior year and all that. And I spoke to a bunch of colleges like, yo, I'm undocumented. This is my situation. And at that time, it was still kind of a new thing, and the schools just weren't sure how to go about it. How to handle it, yeah.
That's why I said I'm going to barber college.
Yeah, right?
'Cause I was like, man, fuck that.
Yeah, I feel like for schools, it's like a weird position because like you don't say no to kids that want to learn.
But they just don't know. The administrators are new people that, you know, they don't know better, bro. It's like when you go to the club and you show them a Mexican ID, they don't even know where the fuck the birth date is at, none of that. And it's not their fault. It's just, you know, they don't fucking know. So it's
But
like,
they still let you in.
Sometimes. At Edna's, they don't. So
They don't.
Yeah, there's been certain
There's certain
spots.
places
Bastards.
that don't. So, no, but as far as that goes, I understand because, like, I had a interview for a scholarship, and I went for a job interview, and they found out that I was illegal. So they basically denied. Like, the manager just looked at me in the eye. He was just like, "Nah, bro."
Nah, yeah.
Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm about to go to this interview, fucking be in front of all these people. I'm like, I already know the answer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even go.
Right.
I was just like, fuck it, I'm not going to that shit.
And I think that was something that happened at Dove where the counselor was like, don't stop applying. someone's gonna have to say yes. Someone has to already dealt with your situation. Someone already knows what to do to help you, right? And so at that time, I'm applying for schools all over the U.S. My number one school was OSU in Stillwater. I was like, that's my number one spot. I wanted to do architectural engineering, and that was the spot to be. So I get accepted. I start getting some scholarship money coming in, tuition, grades, books, dorm, everything. I had pretty much everything covered for OSU in Stillwater. And then about a month before school started, they hit me up. Hey, you know, all that money we said we were going to give you, well, we can't give it to you. Psych, yeah. And it was all because of, you know, being undocumented. We can't take state or federal money because then in the long run or sometime when you apply, then it can become an issue for your immigration status. And then even then, just the federal government doesn't want to give money. I mean, we don't get tax money back as undocumented people filing our taxes, right? So they're not just going to give me money to go to school. And so that was pretty much what happened. It happened at OSU in Stillwater, and then I had a full ride scholarship to USAO, the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma.
How were your grades looking?
I mean, I had a 3.7 something. I had a 24 on my ACT. I was involved in a bunch of things, you know. So I was good.
Yeah.
They gave me what they call their PLC, Presidential Leadership Class Scholarship or something.
They obviously knew you were a good motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I walked in my interview. They had a full panel of people, like 7 people. Tell us your story, you know. And they called me a week later. Yeah, we got this scholarship. So I go up to the school. This is after OSU has already told me no. I go up to the school, and they're like, do you have proof of citizenship?
Yeah, see, bro, that's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't even go to that fucking interview, because I had already experienced that, bro. When I got in the car, like, that was one of the few times where I wanted to, like, cry, like,
Absolutely.
just, like...
Yeah, just, like...
Like, bro, I know...
Because you can't do shit about it.
Qualified. I know I'm qualified.
Yeah.
Because you got a bunch of fucking idiots here. And you mean to tell me you can't give me the job because...
One paper.
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, this is some bullshit, you know? So after that, I had a chip on my shoulder. Like, it was like, all right, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm going to start cutting hair. I'm going to start whatever I got to do by any means on some Malcolm X shit.
But that's right, bro. I mean, that's been one of the things that I tell anyone who I talk to now who's going through the same thing. I'm like, just because they tell you no here doesn't mean you got to stop. There's going to be something else that either you find or someone else is going to give you an opportunity. So, you know, keep on going. And so I appreciate that from you, AB.
For sure, bro. And we seen it on Alex Salcedo's podcast, too.
That's right.
He was going to be in the Olympics, and he couldn't do it because he didn't have that fucking
He wasn't
number.
a citizen.
That, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is. You don't have that fucking... And so he had to go to Mexico. He had to do all this unnecessary ass shit just because he doesn't have a fucking...
Can they still do a background check on you?
Yeah, bro, they have everything on you.
I think that's
the thing. With
I think that would be,
bro, immigration has everything on you that they need.
If you very qualified for the job, I think with a background check
that's the
would
thing,
be.
though, bro. That's why I don't talk about immigration, because I get so worked up, bro. Because people don't understand. They're like, well, why don't you just go become a citizen?
It ain't easy, bud. It ain't easy.
It's not about the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've lost. My family has lost a shit ton of money trying to get a lawyer here, a lawyer there, and it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work. So it's crazy, bro.
That's the thing. Some people, you also hear, get in line. Some people don't have a line to get into. Some people don't have that path, right? And so that's kind of what we're talking about, and just get into that path. And so, you know, I'm in school. This thing happens at USAO. This thing happens at OSU. And then I had tried out for soccer at Mid-America Christian University just up the street. And the coach was like, we already have some students here who are undocumented, and you were able to help them because they're a private school, right? So it's like AV and Darwin or Half Court giving money to the school and say, you here's some scholarship money, give it to whoever you want, whenever you want. And so with private donors, I was able to get some of that private scholarship. I got a soccer scholarship, and again, my grades helped me. And so I ended up at Mid-America in 2010. And then, I'm going to school because they actually had me sign a paper, an affidavit of intent. They said if an opportunity becomes available for you to apply for citizenship, you're going to take it. Duh, you know. So I sign my paper, I get on, and they get me all through my financial aid, and I'm taken care of, going to school for the first 2 years. And like you said, Obama comes through with the DACA program, and he says, we're not gonna deport this group of people. Right, and luckily I was within that group. There are a lot of people that missed by like a month or a year, and now a lot of those people now are eligible, right? And so with
The anchor babies.
The anchor babies, yeah. And so now with the Supreme Court decision coming down, the Supreme Court said, no, the way Donald Trump tried to do away with the DACA program was wrong. And so the Supreme Court said, immigration, you have to take initial applications and you have to go back to the way things were in 2012. And so right now we're in a weird place where we're waiting for immigration to say, yeah, send in new applications. And so there's going to be an influx of people who are just going to start applying. I think they did a round number. It was like 55,000 people who would qualify now.
Yeah. How do you stay on top of that? Because I'm pretty sure you were like doing your research on it when it came to like Trump trying to take away the DACA.
Right.
You know. So what do you do to stay on top of your like resources and stuff?
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Before we answer that question, finish off how you did the whole college thing, because I think people need to, this is valuable information, bro.
Real shit.
People
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to,
No
because
doubt.
there's so many people that would just, like me, I didn't even go to the interview because I was just scared to get denied. So I was like, man, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit again.
So you got rejected
Yeah.
by OSU.
OSU. I don't say I got rejected. They just took that money away that they offered me. You know?
Okay.
So I was accepted. I was ready to go. I had my classes, everything.
They
picked
just said,
out.
okay,
They just said, yo, the money we're offering you, you know, to pay your tuition for
You're not
4 years.
you don't qualify.
You don't qualify. We can't give it to you. So I'm like, all right, that works, you know. 2012 comes around, DACA comes around. I get my driver's license. I had a social security number, but on it said not valid for work.
Yep.
With the DACA, the employment authorization, then I can go to work. I get my driver's license. And before that, you asked, you know, how was I doing it? I was just living my life.
Legal.
Driving.
Paisa.
Yeah, you know, you hear from your parents, yo, be careful. Don't be
Yeah.
out late. Don't hang out with these people. Don't do this. Don't do that.
Bro, I used to love graffiti. Graffiti was my passion.
I had some friends that were
And
into it.
I
yeah.
was ready to fuck the whole city up. But I didn't do it because I was
You thought
illegal.
about it.
And
You
I
thought
was
about
like,
it.
if I get caught spray painting,
That's
and I
enough
get
for them. That's
deported
enough.
to Mexico, I'm going to feel like a real jackass. So I was like, let me just get good on this black book.
I think
So-
that's what a lot of like, you know, immigrants like don't realize that. They come here and they don't realize, you know, that any little step that you do, it can be enough for them to be
No, I
like,
think they do realize it. I mean,
some of them don't, man. Like I feel
Yeah.
like they'll just do like dumb
most
shit.
of them risk their life to get here. So they're well aware, I think, of what they're doing. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
that-
Like, they might get fucked up, drive, whatever it is, but at the end of the day, they know that.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They,
They
know
know
that
the
if they get
risk.
caught, they're going back to fucking where they.
Like you're hella like in your
Yeah,
case,
bro,
yeah.
When you had to pass when you have to go through the desert,
Yeah,
you
it's
think
tough.
people want to fucking do that again? Like, bro, I don't even want to go to the gym. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And these
Yeah.
motherfuckers got to cross the desert with.
And there's no telling too. There is no
No,
telling.
it's
like,
a risk. Basically, the moment they said I want to go over there, they're like, I'm either gonna go over there or I'm gonna die. Like it's
it's the same case with in our situation, Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. A lot of the Dominicans, they'll cross in a small ass like little.
Little trench boat.
Le
or
llamamos
something.
yale. Fuck, no, not yale. That's a different word.
Don't fuck it
Yola,
up.
yola, yola. They call it yola. It's a small boat, and all they're doing is pedaling from there to Puerto Rico, and that's like
You know what
a
Boricua
lot.
means?
I do, but I forgot. Do you know what it means?
Yep.
What does it mean?
Noble men.
I knew it.
Oh, man.
I knew it.
Boricua.
Yeah, and that's why Borinquen is like Noble Island or some shit like that.
You're a pretty noble fella.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Appreciate
No,
that.
yeah, man.
But,
But,
yeah, the struggle is real, man. So you get accepted to what school?
So I was at Mid America Christian University.
Okay.
Played soccer there for 4 years. But when 2012 came around, I got my driver's license, my social security number. That was like a sense of hope, right? That's when I'm thinking, all right, now I need to focus more so that when I get done, I have a job. At that time, I was still working with the attorney. I was still kind of doing some things, and so he's like, "Yo, DACA, apply right now." You know, so I get my DACA card, I get my work permit, all that good stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, "What's next? What will I do when I graduate?"
So you didn't know what you were gonna.
Nah,
okay,
bro.
okay. So at
And you
this point,
gotta
you're
write it too. It's
That's
crazy when
crazy.
you're on the application.
Yeah.
Like they give you a paragraph to where you have to tell them what you're gonna do with. Like it's almost like probation type shit.
What,
Like,
what did you
gotta-
put?
Like you literally gotta
Math.
write like, or you, I mean, at least I did.
Yeah.
On the last little paragraph, it tells you like, what do you plan on doing with your permit? So I had to be like, I'm gonna go to barber school. I want to be a fucking positive person to society and this
Yeah.
and that. And then the attorney kind of switched it up or whatever. But I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah, yeah, they
Every
want to
2
know.
years.
They want
Yeah.
to know what you're doing. They want to know how much money you're making, how if you have any assets, things like that. They want to make sure they want to know where you're living, things like that, right? So they keep track of you. They keep track of you.
So at that time, you didn't know what the hell you wanted to do.
Nah, so I mean, I go to college and I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't have a permit to work. What am I going to do after, right? So I went the mathematics course because math was easy for me. I didn't like reading. My English wasn't great. I didn't like writing because my English wasn't great. But I did math, so I'm thinking to myself, I'll do like stats. I'll be a math teacher. I'll be a math tutor. And then I had this whole thing of trying to start like a math tutoring program or a tutoring program for focused on math. And I actually had a professor as well who tried to get me into some statistics work, and I was like, I don't know, right? So I graduated in 2014 with my math degree. That same year, we had actually won the regional championship to go to nationals and went to Florida. We got our butt kicked in Florida. It was bad. But I made captain my senior year, so I had some, I had some
In soccer?
In soccer,
Yeah.
yeah, bro. So I had some good times at soccer and everything in the community around MacU. A lot of people supporting what we were doing. And then 2014 comes around, and I'm like, well, I graduated. What's next? What do I do next, right? So I take a year off, and I'm working at ISA at the indoor soccer arena, just getting to meet a bunch of people, working customer service, talking to people, doing things like that. And then I started coaching little kids, and I'm still working at the law office full time. And then the lawyer I work with, Lambert Dunn, he goes, yo, man, you should take the LSAT. What's the LSAT? Well, it's to get into law school, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really need to take the LSAT. I don't really want to go to law school. And at that time, I still didn't even understand what it meant to be an attorney because I'm still just fresh out of college. I'm thinking to myself, I can't be an attorney. I'm Mexican, things like that.
still a little pup.
Yeah, bro. And you watch these movies and they're old white men, and then you Legally Blonde, but they're still white. But you don't ever see a Mexican attorney.
A brown motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking to myself, well, I'll take the LSAT. If I do well, I'll apply to law school. If I get accepted, great. If not, oh well, I'll try again later or something. I take the LSAT, no requirement. I had a driver's license at that point. That's really all they asked for, right? A state ID.
Yeah.
So I turn in my state ID, take my test. I do all right. Apply for OCU Law in downtown right now, and I get accepted. They send me a acceptance letter. They say, hey, we have some money we want to offer you. Hey, all right, let's go. Vámonos.
Let's go.
And so same thing. I tell them my situation. I'm like, yo, I'm undocumented. I sat down with the dean of admissions and I told her straight up. I was like, I'm undocumented. This is
I'm
my
a little
situation.
alien just trying to live the American dream.
Yep. She said, oh my gosh, Javier, don't even worry. We got you. And from that day on, bro, she was like my best friend. Even till now, she's like a reference for me every time, anytime, anything I need. And I got into law school, and from the get-go, she was like, if it comes to be an issue later when you take your bar exam, we're here to support you. We're here to say you're a good person, that you're a good student. You've done everything that everyone else is doing. So we support you. Mm-hmm. And, I'll touch on the story of Cesar Vargas. He's the first undocumented attorney in New York. He had to fight for 3 years for them to give him his license because he was undocumented. But the state of Oklahoma they don't have any restrictions on that.
Shout out,
right? There's one thing they're doing right.
Yeah.
There's one thing they're doing
Stop
right.
playing with Oklahoma, man.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. So you've been an attorney for how long now?
About a year and 2 months now, officially, yeah. So when I get into law school,
That fool Marco was like, he was like, he's the one that told us to get you on here. So I
Yeah.
was like, what does he do or what, bro? I was like, is he doing his thing? And he was like, yeah, he's doing his thing for Webback. Fucking Marco, man.
Yeah, shout out Marco, man. I appreciate you, brother. But I'm in law school, and I had to educate a lot of people, bro. I had to educate a lot of people,
Especially Raza, bro. It's hard to educate because they're just.
It was the white folks that I was educating.
Really?
Yeah, bro. All right, let me tell you this. I get into our orientation. There's 170 of us. About 160 are white. The other 10 are a couple of us Hispanic, Latinos, and then the rest are a couple black and Asian kids, right? but 160 white people, bro. So I'm going into this school just like, yeah, should I even be here? Should I, you know, can I
Feeling
keep up?
awkward and shit.
Yeah, can I keep up? Am I gonna
It's
get
like when a
what's
white
going
boy
on?
walks in a black barbershop. Like shit.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, you know, it's things like that where you just, my wife basically taught me the words like imposter syndrome, right? So we feel like we're in a place where we shouldn't be, but why not?
Yeah.
Why not? We deserve to be there. If we work our butts
We were
out, we do what we
brainwashed.
got.
We were just brainwashed
Yeah,
to
bro.
think like, oh, like.
Oh, good.
And our parents are
Go up
scared.
outside.
They're not even. They can't even order fucking number 2 off of Burger King. So they're just like,
It's the unknown. It's the unknown, bro.
Every day you just gotta make sure.
shout out to all the immigrant families out there, man. That
Yeah,
shit
bro. Just-
almost makes me want to cry, bro.
No doubt.
Yeah, you just gotta take every day, you know, by the book and just try to stay out of trouble. And yeah, it can get rough out there, you know.
No
As of right now, when they say what is your strength when it comes to you know, fighting a case or whatever the case may be, what would you say?
I think it's my connection to people, honestly. That was one of the things that I told myself from the get-go. And always, really, in my life, I've always, like, wanted to help people. And growing up, you know, helping my parents, as he mentioned, you know, translating and doing things like that, helping other family members and just my friends in classrooms and things like that. So my goal has always been to help people. I always said, if I make money while I'm helping people, great, right? And so that's my number one thing, just being able to connect with people, listening to them. And then obviously my Spanish, you know, if someone comes in, I can speak to you in Spanish. I understand your Portuguese. I probably can't speak Portuguese back to you, but I understand you. And just being able to connect with people like that. And then sometimes the conversation comes up. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm waiting for my green card too. And they're like, oh, wait, what? You're a lawyer? And yeah, that's me, you know. But I have that connection with them too as far as the immigration side of it. And so for a long time, I actually even questioned myself if I wanted to do immigration law. But the need is there, right? And so, like I said, helping people was my number one priority. And so if the need is there, I'm going to take it and I'm going to help. So that's if I had to say one thing, that's the one thing, just being able to connect with the people and really understanding their situation and then fighting for them.
Yeah, I think, you know, when it comes to lawyer and attorneys and stuff like that, I think it's an interesting profession. And I really respect it because, first of all, it's not my thing, right?
Yeah.
I cannot be in a room where everybody is serious and you know, you're fighting, depending on the case, but anytime you're in a courtroom, it's not good, you know? So you got to be, like, your head has to be there. You got to be making sure you're giving your clients enough confidence that, hey, I'm going to beat this case, whether it's criminal shit or whatever the case may be, man. So talk to us about, like, your experiences, because, like, I'm pretty sure, like, today you was at the court, right?
Yeah, I was at the courthouse today.
What was going on down there?
Yeah, so today I had a DUI I was handling, and then I had a domestic abuse thing that I had going on, and another custody battle deal going on. So I had kind of 3 things I was working on today at the courthouse. But, you know, about my experiences in the courthouse, not long ago I had an intern with me, and I said, look, the courtroom is empty right now. I said in about 20 minutes, there's going to be about 15 lawyers in here. They're going to be white, and then it's going to be me. And it's the same thing, you know. It's just it's the legal system and the legal field that has been dominated basically by the white folk or the white.
Do you get that
person.
energy of, like, they're looking at you like this, and then you got to go in there strong because you're representing what is the Latin culture?
Yes, sir.
You know, so, like,
absolutely.
You're confident enough, like, I'm going to show you guys I belong here.
Oh, bro, as soon as I walk into the courthouse, I'm like, I'm here to handle business, you know? Even before the courthouse, the prep time going into a case, you know, those are the things that matter. So part of law school was, like, I started off part-time, and everybody else around me was full-time. So I had time to dive into my books to really understand what the heck was going on, right? But not only my legal books, but I spent a lot of time in the dictionary. A lot of time because, like I said, I
think wording,
yeah,
that's something I even want to get better at, just because English is such a complicated language to learn, like, as far as, like, writing, reading, and understanding and pronouncing.
Just anything, bro. To be honest, like, we're very ignorant to a lot of stuff, so it's like, it's all right to not know a word, you know?
Yeah, that's fine. But as of, like, learning, like,
so that's good that you picked up the dictionary, because a lot of motherfuckers are, fuck it, I don't know that word.
Yeah, no, well, we can't do that in law school, you know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, You know, if a professor asks you, yo, what do they say here? And, oh, and what does that word mean?
It's like when your parents ask you to translate a fucking mail.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, I don't even know what this shit means in English. Like, and then my dad be like, nah, pues pa' qué chingados van a la escuela entonces, you know? And
yeah.
I'm just like,
English is complicated,
I'm like,
bro.
Dad, I don't even fucking.
I
all
to this
grew up
day
around
struggle. I to this day struggle, and my main language is Spanish, but I'm pretty fluent with the English, obviously. But yeah, to this day, like I try to learn certain words and stuff. Like I remember, and I'll Google it. That's the thing. Like I'll hear something. Like I remember I used to work at a call center, and I'm on a call, and then this guy's like, "What if this is just me hypothetically speaking." I'm like, "Huh? What if I cancel my services?" So I'm like, never heard of that one. Boom, searched it up. Okay, now I know what it means. So like words like that. I forgot there was another one that I just learned too, and I'm like, I search it up, and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. Because you have to use it depending on the situation, depending on the people. You know, like you gotta make sure your words are proper. You know.
Yeah, and that was one of the things with law school. Like one of the words, statute. Well, you know, statute is statute.
Right.
This is a statute with like a T before the E, and it's a piece of law.
Yeah, because I know you guys have like certain wordings and different, I guess codes or something. I know I have a buddy of mine that's he's going to become an attorney, especially in immigration. That's his like main focus. And he's like, man, I'm trying to learn all the terms that the lawyers and attorneys have. And he told me like certain words, certain things, this and that. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, it really is. And, when you're in law school, a lot of people always ask, what did you like study, but when you're in law school, it's a full study of everything. When you take your bar exam, they just switched it up in Oklahoma, but the bar exam is 16 essays and 200 multiple choice questions, a 2-day test, 8 hours a day. And so the 16 essays can be based off of like 15 subjects. The multiple choice questions are based off of like 8 subjects. So you got to be well-versed in every subject, right? So as soon as you're done with the bar exam, you're smarter than 10-year attorneys in some things because you dive in and you learn that, and it's a 10-week study program. So for 10 weeks, that's all you do. That's all you do is study. I mean, you don't hear about that a lot, right?
Yeah.
When I started studying for the bar, this was December 2018. I worked for like the first 2 weeks, and I was doing like 6 to 8 hours a week of studying. And then after those first 2 weeks, I moved on. I quit working, and for the last 8 weeks, I was studying from like 8 to 10 hours, and then it jumped from 10 to 12, and then it jumped from 12 to like 15 hours. And that was just grind because I had to pass the bar exam. If I didn't have another opportunity to take it until the summer. I took the test in February. I would have had to wait until July to retake it. So every day I woke up, bro, I was like, yo, I'm going to pass this test. There's no way I can fail this test. A lot of people just waiting for me to pass the test. And, it was one of those things where, like, if I don't pass this test, what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. What am I going to do? I can go to work, but I'm not going to be a lawyer. And so I pushed myself really hard those 10 weeks and said, I have to pass this test from the get-go.
So do you like getting into, like, the books and, like, reading and learning and studying and stuff like that? Because I feel like that's not meant for everybody. A lot of people that really don't go to schools because, they just not meant. Sure. Why not? Why not?
No,
I was about to buy a six pack, and I was like, it's cool. Let's not do that. But I appreciate it. You want a beer, bro?
No, I'm good right now. Thank you, though, yeah. So you asked about resources earlier, too, so I'll tie that in with this question. Yeah, man, that's something we do just about every day, especially with immigration, right? There's always something changing. There's always something new, and so we got to stay up to date with all of that. Because of the work that I do less research than other attorneys would do. And so that's another thing to consider if, I hope that we have more Latinas wanting to go to law school. But that's another thing that you have to think about, basically at what stage of a lawyer do you want to be? There are people who do only trials, who only take cases that are going to go to trial. In the last 8 years
when you say cases that are going to trial, that means court?
Yeah, well, there's a lot you got to do before you get to the trial. Yeah, so they say
They get
about
thrown out, or they're like
a lot of cases are settled. Like about 95% of cases are settled before they even go to trial. Trial is when you get your jury or you have a judge and you
You're
present all
fighting,
your evidence, all of that. You're fighting the whole time.
It's like that. Are you?
Yeah, you're fighting the whole time.
Cases that you take that don't have to go to trial, what does it look like?
Okay, so I'll give you an example on a family law case, right? So let's say you're gonna have a custody battle. You had a kid with someone, but you're not married, so technically it's really not your kid, and maybe you don't know if it is your kid or not, right? So the first thing we do is we file a paternity action and say, file it with the court and say, hey, court, we have this going on. We want to find out whose kid this is. So we'd present ourselves in front of the judge, and the judge would say, all right, what's going on? Say, judge, we need DNA testing. The judge orders the DNA testing.
Boy.
We come back maybe a month later and say, all right, we have DNA testing that says either this is or this is not the kid. If it's not, it's done. If it is, then we got to figure out how visitation is going to work, right? So sometimes we just negotiate that with the other side. If for some reason there's some bad blood between the mom and dad, well, then maybe dad has a criminal record or mom has a criminal record, and mom or dad don't want the kid to be one way or another. And so
This right here is baby mama drama in the proper terms.
Is one specifically hiring you to take care of the business, so if the mom,
correct,
then you're on the mom's side.
Right.
You're trying to find a way, like, all right, let me make sure, all right, you stay with your kid.
You weren't being a stupid little thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why did you open your legs to him?
Yeah.
You know, like,
why
shit.
are you at Pink Parrot on Snapchat when you're fighting a case, woman?
So, that is more like, would you call those? I mean, you still got to put in the work, obviously, and you got to, but it's less stressful.
Actually, no, man. The family law cases are the most stressful, and you actually find more attorneys that don't want to do family law. And there aren't a lot of Hispanic, Latinx, Latino, Latina people that do family law for the same reason. And so a lot of the times I have people come in like, yo, I was looking for someone that spoke Spanish to help me with this case, and I never found someone, but now I found you, so I'm happy to find you.
So as of right now, how is it looking as far as like Hispanic attorneys? Like, what is it looking like?
That I know.
Shout out to Cesar
Armenta, shout out.
Even though he's a little asshole, sometimes he fought for me. So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate Cesar. Yeah, he's helped me learn a lot on the criminal side as well.
Melissa too.
Melissa Lujan.
Melissa, yeah, we want to have her on the podcast too.
Oh yeah, no, she.
I owe her some money, by the way.
Go pay her, fucker.
Yeah, go pay her.
Sorry, Melissa. I had to quit my job.
Yeah.
No, we got a growing population.
Yeah.
Actually, last year there were like 3 or 5 graduates. Jose Cruz, shout out Jose Cruz. He's running for State House Representative in District 88. That's our district right here, from Western over to Portland, like 44th down to the river. And I think he has a good chance to win. And we actually went to school together, and he became a lawyer, and then he decided he wanted to run for
Explain to
State
people
House.
how important it is to do all that, because I really don't give a fuck, and I know it's important. So
About what?
I feel like being in the
I would say just being in the legal field. I think that
legal field, and then like politics and all that. Like,
Absolutely.
does it matter?
Oh gosh, man. Let me ask you this: if your favorite color is red, and they wanted to paint this room blue, those are bad colors, bad red and blue. Anyway, someone representing you is gonna say, "No, we need to paint this blue. We need to paint." Wait, did I say your favorite color is red? Yeah,
But this is my place.
but this is your place, bro.
No, I'd be like, get the fuck out of
Well,
here.
right, but you need someone to represent you, maybe that has a louder voice than you do, or that can go out there and speak, right? That represents what you want, right? Well, a lot of the times we don't have people representing our people.
So you're saying a lot of people are very shy and they don't want to speak. And
I would say it's not that we're shy, bro. A lot of the immigrant community, we stay in the shadows por lo mismo, right? We don't want to expose ourselves. We don't want people to see that we're out there arguing, fighting, and be the bad person, right? Be these, como les dicen a los, según a los protesters, these riots. We don't want to be caught in something that's going to prejudice.
Bro, that's why I didn't go out to all this stuff over here, because I was like, nah, I'm cool. If I go out there and I get caught on some dumb shit.
Yeah, and just not that, man. It was because it got a little dangerous. You don't know. Absolutely. At the end of the day, like most of the protests were peaceful, but then like it goes back to like not all cops, but certain cops would just start like shoving and pushing like unnecessary, you know.
Bro,
and then not only that, not only that, a lot of people like Dougie, he probably lost a ball, a testicle.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people lost eyes because they would shoot like rubber bullets.
Yeah.
And a lot of people lost their eyes and shit. Like
Yeah.
they would just hit them like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's dangerous, man. Imagine you're going out
Well, I wouldn't be. I wasn't so scared of all that. I was scared to be out there, be fucking arrested, and then I'm deported over.
Well,
fucking
we had
protesting,
we had
you
a
know?
few
Yeah.
a few of the Black Lives Matters, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but some I think there were like 4 or 5 people who were arrested who are now being charged as terrorists,
Yeah,
right? And so little things like that, but
because I would have probably been out there with my camera too. But
I
was
did
just
wanted
like,
to capture some shit.
And you
I
would
was
have been
like,
in their
nigga, I ain't
face.
about to get deported over this. And the whole thing had just happened where the DACA was about to be over. So I had to go renew my shit, and I was just already paranoid. Like,
Exactly.
I might have to go back to Juarez.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. No, but I think it goes even past that. Like having us in a field like this, I've seen it like change people's mind about the legal field. And there's this huge stigma against attorneys because they think we're all just out to take their money and not help them, right? And so that's something that I want to help change as well. Is like say, no, we're really here to help. And then if I'm here to help, then we know that our people are good people that are here to help as
And
well.
look, this is how. Sorry to interrupt, bro, but
No,
this
you're
is
good.
how I know
Oh,
that
you're not.
Melissa. No, I am sorry, but it just goes with the. Fuck you, bro. Melissa hit me up,
Yeah.
bro. I'm cutting hair. Boom, boom, boom. And I look at my phone. I get a message from Melissa, and she's like, "This dream acting is probably about to be over. We don't know. You should probably come renew your stuff. You know, like if we can get it renewed, that'd be the best thing right now." So I'm like, "All right, fuck. I mean, I don't want to spend this money on this shit,
I
but
want to
fuck
spend
it."
$500.
Yeah,
But the
so I
fact
went
that
over
she
there.
hit you up, that's fucking-
Because I would have been
yeah.
clueless, bro. I don't pay attention to news, fucking nothing, bro. I'm just in my world.
Right.
So just the fact that she hit me up for that, and she's not making money off of me. I'm sure there's a fucking somebody that just got busted with some pounds or something that would pay her racks to just represent. And she hit me up. You know, she took the time out of her day, bro, to hit her clients up. She didn't just hit me up. She hit up all her clients and said, "Look, even though you're not paying me a lot, shit's about to hit the fan." And
Absolutely,
this
bro.
is what's happening.
Absolutely, and I think that's kind of what we were talking about a little bit with just connecting with people, you know, and being respectful also of their situation. So that's a big thing that we try to focus on in our office, like what's really happening here, right? What's really going on here? What can we really get to? What do we need to figure out? What's the best course of action? So, you know, a lot of it is like having people to represent what we believe in, right? Like I'm gonna bring this up because I'm not a fan of it. Like the Wheeler district with the $250,000 houses, $300,000 houses right next to Paleteria Azteca, right, in the neighborhood that's already there. Well, the Wheeler district's about to build their own school, their own grocery store. They're about to gentrify that whole area, bro. Right, and so if we had more people like us representing
tell
our
the dumb
culture,
niggas what gentrified means.
well, we'll get there, right? But part of that is like now they're coming in and they're making these things a lot more expensive, creating these new environments where our people's taxes are now going to rise. Now we're going to have to pay more taxes and probably not be able to live in that neighborhood, and so we're going to be pushed out to a different area. Right, but if we had more people for us to speak up and say, nah, the Wheeler district doesn't need to have $500,000 homes. This needs to be like $25,000 homes where we can move in our families, right? Then that would have been a whole different situation. But that's where that whole representation.
So basically, people there is gonna be like a new little Nichols Hill.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's that located?
Off of Western and between 25th and the river.
Oh,
The Ferris wheel.
Right there?
That Wheeler.
fucking
Those small houses?
Bro,
I'll go out
they're
there
that
and
much?
They're like $300K.
They're ugly,
are
too.
small, and I feel like
You'll probably catch the corona there.
Yeah.
cluster. Like, hey, if I need sugar from my neighbor, I'll just reach out through the window like that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a fan of it. It doesn't look. It kind of looks like something you would see in like Pets, the movie Pets, like some cartoonish shit.
That
like,
Dr. Seuss stuff too. Huh?
yeah.
How much are the houses there?
Bro, they're like $300K.
Stupid.
Yeah.
That is
I would-
crazy.
Well,
So what are they doing there
whoever
now?
moves there, go look on the other side of the train tracks. Y'all might find some shit for 25,
Exactly.
15,
Exactly,
17.
right?
So what's
And
the
then
point
you
of
can call
that?
my dad and he can make a badass kitchen and make it look like a Nichols Hill home.
Yeah, I mean the whole point of that really is, según, you know, they're trying to expand the city and they're trying to connect us between the north and the south. And so, I mean, how many of our raza can buy a $300,000 home? Nobody really right
Nobody.
now. So who's gonna move into these homes? People with money. Who are the people with money? A lot of white folks,
Oh,
right?
we need to go get a dispensary and a barbershop in that area.
In that area,
Quick.
right? Yeah.
$30 G's, bruh.
But that's what they're doing, right? They built this whole new community. They're gonna build a whole new school for según that area.
But that is, it looks small. So
Yeah.
they're going to build a school for that small little, because, I mean,
they're supposed to open that school up to kind
Public
of
school?
a neighborhood, a charter school.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're supposed to open up that area to some of the neighborhood, but it's cut off at a certain area where also it's going to keep a lot of people out, right? And so those are things that we need to be aware of. And then locally also with just like city ordinances, local county. So that's the thing. It goes from city to county to state, right? And those are all three different levels that we need to be focused on, like the city council. We have some. I think we have some good people representing us in our city council. And then we have the school board of education, right? That's another big thing. The Oklahoma City Public School School Board of Education. We have Gloria Torres, who's been there for a long time representing our community. But she's, if I'm correct, she's the only Latina on the board, right? So she's there to represent us, to talk about our people, what our people are going through, how our struggles aren't like everyone else's, right? And so just having that representation like that, and then, me being in the legal field, my hopes are one day to become a professor. I don't know if I want to be a judge yet, but then also, if you're a judge, you can also kind of connect with the people, some of the different people that you have there. So just that representation, man, I think that's going to go a long way. And it's growing. Our representation is growing in different areas.
that's crazy, man. You got like a lot of like awesome goals, man. You want to be a professor?
Yeah, man.
Just teach.
Well, I'll spill the beans right now. I actually got an offer to go teach at OCU. And so I'm excited for that because when I was at OCU, we did a street law class. In our street law class, we would go to Southeast High School and we would teach we would go different times of the week, but I would go there once a week and I would teach the students, today we're talking about constitutional law. Today we're talking about criminal things. Tomorrow we're going to talk about different things, right? So we just went through a whole different thing of what it means to be in the law, what the law means. And then we were able to give them a tour of the school, take them to the Oklahoma Supreme Court. They got to meet a judge. They got to put on their own little trial. So they got to see the whole process of what it meant to be, like, one, studying the law, and then two, being around the law. And so the dean who I spoke about, Dean Jones, shout out to Dean Jones because she's a savior. She's the one who was running the course, and so now she's getting ready to retire and move away from OKC. And so I just kind of put it out there. I said, if you need any help, if you need someone to take over, I'm willing to help. I'm willing to step in. And so a couple weeks ago, I actually got an email from her and said, hey, we're looking at getting someone else on board. We're going to have another professor leading it, but we would love to have you come in and help as an adjunct professor. And so I submitted my resume and everything, and I'm just kind of on the wait. They're not gonna do the fall because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so maybe in the spring I'll start off, and that'll be my first, hopefully, professor career.
So your plans is to do the professor career and still do like their attorney and stuff?
Yeah.
And you also want to be a judge, so you want to be behind.
I don't know if I want to be a judge yet.
You want to be on both sides of the coin. Like, all right, I experienced the attorney and I did my cases in this. Now I'm on this other side.
Yeah.
Now that's got to be also one hell of a job because you're making a decision at that point. Like,
well, I think about Justice Sotomayor and she being the first Latina to make the Supreme Court. And then I actually had the opportunity to meet a few judges. During law school, we were able to travel to the Hispanic National Bar Association, to the AILA conference, which is the American Immigration Lawyers Association. And so throughout those experiences, I had an opportunity to meet a lot of attorneys, Spotify's attorney, like general counsel for Spotify. I was like, yo, what's up, Horacio? And, we got to connect. But then I also got to meet federal judges from New York, from Maryland, from different places, and Latinas, so it was awesome to see them. And so for a while, I was like, maybe that's not something I want to do because part of me is I don't want to go work for the man, right? So being a judge, then you're working for the county, you're working for the government. And so that's one of the things I kind of want to stay away from as of now. Mm-hmm. But the goal for sure is maintain the attorney position. do some things in the teaching profession because I wanted to be a math teacher, but then that kind of fell through.
Yeah.
And so if I can teach some law and still connect with our community, right now the street law program went from just being at Southeast to also being at Douglas. And then there's talks of it expanding into Santa Fe South. So, man, if we can just get out and connect with these young students, get them civically engaged, get them to understand what it means to be a part of the law and understand the law and the legal system, it's really going to change the landscape of the legal field in Oklahoma. And then nationwide, I think it'll just make a big impact.
Man, I'm excited, man. I can't wait till we get our spot because it's like we're going to do so many crazy and creative shit. And, like, I'm just excited because we've had a lot of people in the podcast that want to do good and like have all these,
great ideas.
Yeah. So like, I feel like that would be the spot for everybody just to go crazy.
Yeah, man. And I'm so proud of just everybody that's doing things without letting limitations stop them.
Right.
For everybody we've had on the podcast, like it's, my boy Cave, he had all the odds against him with the whole tattoo.
My guy Juan, 405 Buds, he's already opening multiple
I asked
ones.
him, I was like, you're on DACA, that didn't stop you? And he said, don't let that stop you, bud.
Yep, don't let that.
He was like,
exactly.
don't let that stop you, bud. He was like, don't let that stop you from anything. So, anything. The hood,
Our guy
bro,
Eddie.
like
Eddie,
bro. This nigga
Eddie's
worked
up.
at Taste of China and said, "Fuck this job."
Unlimited fence.
YouTubed how to make a fence, and then got a job and fucked it up.
And just recently got Q Palace.
Yeah, he just bought Q Palace.
Yeah, so he's
Got a
doing big
whole
things.
crew.
Dang.
It's crazy, man. Like just to sit back
It
and
is.
see the progress of everybody. Like once you leave this podcast, we're gonna be like, damn, like you went from this to that. Like the progress just keeps going. Like
Yeah.
And to be honest, bro, lawyer, that's one of those ones that people look at and they're like, I'm undocumented. I can't.
Yeah.
That's why when you started, you said all that. I was like, bro.
Like what?
it was quick. It was a lot of information.
Let's go back.
Rewind.
Because
That's a
I
lot.
would have liked to be a lawyer, but I was scared of rejection. So I was
Yeah.
like, nah, fuck that. I'm not even going to. I'll
Yeah.
just be a barber. I'll just go to film school.
All right, so Mr. Attorney Hernandez, is that how y'all say it? Attorney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Attorney.
I just shot somebody and took their drugs. And now I'm one of their suspicious
Allegedly.
person. Yeah,
Allegedly.
they want to lock me up. They think I'm the guy. Here's what they think. Can you get me out of jail? How do you do it? How do you study the case? How do you go?
Right.
Well, your criminal
What is your
justice-
process?
Well, see, I don't do a lot of the criminal stuff.
Have you done?
I have done some of the criminal stuff, like the DUIs. The child abuse one was a criminal deal. So there's some things that can be done as far as. Also, don't ever say you did that. Say allegedly. They're saying I did
Allegedly.
this.
So you don't-
allegedly. Don't ever start with I did this. Right? If you're gonna go talk to an attorney, don't ever tell them
Because that's confidential.
that you did it.
Okay.
It's confidential, but once you've done it, and if it's
So even
I
when
mean,
you go to the attorney, you don't tell them I did this?
you don't want to say all of it, right? I mean, once you talk to Cesar Armenta, he'll give you the right answer. But as far as things like that, I haven't.
his,
I don't think
so-
Cesar's going to come on the podcast. I don't think he likes me.
Cesar's
What
your
did
guy
he-
for
his
for
like
criminal things.
criminal.
Bro,
So that
Cesar,
would-
my dad, look, I'm gonna tell you a story about Cesar.
Yeah.
My dad, he was fighting his immigration stuff, so he was at the lawyer's office. My dad's a knucklehead, so he fucking got a DUI. So he's walking out, and I guess that lawyer that he had was too busy to take the case. So Cesar's coming in. This is like years ago. So he's like, I need a lawyer. You're a lawyer here, right? Yeah, I need a lawyer, bro. So Cesar's like, yeah, I can get you. Kind of like a walk-in barber type
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
He got my dad taken care of, Years later, same shit happens to me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
so I look up, Cesar Armenta.
Who you gonna call?
This nigga has his own law firm now. So I'm going downtown every time, getting on the elevator, going upstairs, going to the assistant, and sitting in his office. He looks like a fucking boss, like
Yep.
clean ass haircut, Mexican, bro. He looks like me,
So you don't think?
And I think he's from he's from the hood, bro.
Yeah,
He's
bro.
right here. He's
Yeah.
from he's from the hood.
We talk about that every time we run into each other.
Man, we
He's
got to
from
get
the
him on the podcast too. Shit.
but the last time, bro.
You did some dumb shit?
No,
You said some
I
dumb
didn't.
shit?
It was my first time getting in trouble. So I'm calling him every time, checking in. Like, bro, what's up? I got it. Until I would show up, bro. I would just
Walk in,
pull up,
knock the door.
be like, how's my case going? He'd be like, bro, stop fucking coming up here. Like, I got it, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, bro, it's the first time I get in trouble. So on the last court date, I'm sitting there. It's like a minute after, like my court's about to be in a minute. I'm like, oh my God, he's not here. So I'm blowing him up, bro. Like, anxious and shit, blowing him up. Boom. So he calls me. He's like, don't you ever do that again, bro. Don't blow me up like that. And then just hangs up. So I'm like,
Yeah.
my lawyer ain't here. Court's about to start. He's mad at me.
A freak out moment.
Yeah, bro. I'm just sitting there like, I'm about to go back to Mexico. Fuck. I fucked it all up, you know? And then he comes in like last minute and shit, you know, with a stack of fucking folders. And he already had it taken care of, you know?
Yeah.
Trust the process, bud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. But see, I didn't understand that. So that's why I'm saying he's probably mad at me because he's like, he was just irritated. He
Yeah.
probably had so much other shit and I'm
No,
blowing him up.
but that's the thing, bro. In our profession, client management is a big thing, and I think just about anywhere, right? Anything that you do, you're gonna have to have a good relationship, but then you also have to set expectations, right? Setting those expectations from the beginning, and then letting them know. And I have the same situation, you know. Sometimes people will call me 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, I got something else going on, you know. Tell them I'll call them back, and I'll do something else, and then I won't call them back, and you know, my bad, you know, but. Being around an attorney for 8 years has really helped me. So I was around an attorney for 8 years before I became an attorney. So just think about how much experience I had going into law school and then getting done. With a lot of people that were at law school never had any experience, not even working for a lawyer.
That's a big
and see, that's
advantage.
the crazy thing that the whole thing, DUI shit that happened to me, even though it sucks, it was like a lesson for me because before that, bro, I didn't understand none of that.
Yeah.
So once I had to go through the system, then I understood like, oh, fuck. So now when my homies are going through shit and they got to pay their lawyer and this and that, I can actually
Give them a little bit of your input.
you know,
yeah.
empathy. You have empathy because you're like, damn, bro, I understand. Like, I know what I was going through when I was going through this shit. But if I would have never went through that, I would have never had to have a lawyer. Met Cesar, met Melissa, you know, and now it's like shit that I know that they can't tell me. You know,
Yeah.
I went through it, bro. So it's like when somebody goes through, you can help them now. You know,
Yeah.
it sucks that I had to go through it that way.
To learn,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
You were gonna say something, Darwin?
I probably forgot at this point. You know, AV, you know,
get emotional.
No, it's all
gets
good.
emotional, interrupts. It's
Yeah.
just part of it, you know.
No, but you know, the education part is another thing that I focused on. So while I was in law school, I mentioned I had to educate a lot of the white folks. Like, yo, I can't just go get my green card, and so like they would look at me sometimes like, yo, who's this little brown kid talking all this stuff up? How does he know that? You know, things like that. Because I was in it. I knew my stuff. I was focused. I was reading. I was breaking everything
You were
down.
never in trouble with the law?
I mean, I got pulled over twice for. Well, I got stopped at 2 checkpoints for. And they were just checkpoints, and I didn't have my driver's license.
So if a cop pulls you over and it's one of these dicks that just like to take advantage of their power,
Yeah.
how knowledgeable you are as far as like knowing your rights and shit like that.
Yeah, so you know, I think that's something I gotta get my knowledge up because it's
I do
something.
too.
Yeah, it's something
I
that I
do
really haven't focused on. But you know, it's one of those things where there are other attorneys doing that work, and so I haven't dove into it just yet.
Well, I think it's important because I've seen videos that cops try to take advantage. They pull
Absolutely.
somebody over, whatever the case is.
That's why
and
record.
They record, but school the cop.
Yeah.
Like, I know my rights. I know this, and they'll
Yeah,
just
that's-
point every fact.
That's cool when
Yeah.
it, like, that's the thing with undocumented people, bro. Most times once you get pulled over and you're undocumented, you have no argument. You have no.
Yeah.
You're
like,
if the cop is like nice and he's like, go, cool. If the cop is a dick and he's just like,
Yeah.
nigga,
Yeah,
you
I'm
might
on
have just
bookie.
got off of work and your wife is waiting for
But
eggs.
still
and you're in county.
learn your rights.
yeah,
and shit.
absolutely,
Still,
Yeah,
still.
absolutely. And that was one
Do
of
you
the
think it
things we
even
did with the
matters
street
though if
law.
a fucking straight up paisa gets pulled over and he knows his rights, but he don't have a fucking green card?
Well, yeah, I mean, part of it is, you know, like, man, if I get pulled over and they really don't have a reason to pull me over because, I mean, I know my car's good, I knew I wasn't speeding, things like that, then, you know, come on, roll your window down just a tad bit, officer, you know, why are you pulling me over kind of thing, and then kind of fill that thing out. But I'm gonna share something on my Facebook. Y'all have Facebook, right?
Yeah,
I haven't checked the Facebook. I got you on Instagram, but I'll share it on my Facebook. It's an attorney I actually ran into today. His name is Lorenzo Banks, and he kills it in the criminal law side, and they've had a lot of know your rights deals. So I'll share it so y'all can share that as well. Because I mean, there's so much knowledge out there that, I mean, like I said, I don't even know.
There was a scenario.
We could have a whole fucking like a presentation,
a whole
thing.
seminar, yeah.
Like have Cesar, have you, have Melissa,
Yeah.
hours of people just speaking about, because bro, that's where we lack in the. I'm gonna speak for the Southwest. That's what we're hitting. You know what I'm saying? That's what we lack. Like the PAL soccer, PAL baseball, that shit. That was cool, but nobody was really there telling you what's up. Like you just showed up. Hopefully your parents knew the coach or the whatever. But within here, I think it's our duty. It sucks because I really have a lot on my plate, and I wish I could fucking do other shit. But it's our duty to, you know, inform the people, because shit is fucked up, bro. Like, it should have not took me 10 years. Should have not took Steve-O 10 years to get a barber license. That's all of pure ignorance that we didn't know. We took the long route, you know. So now with the youngins that are coming up, why would I see him go through the same stupid shit that I went through, you know?
Yeah,
and
we gotta make it easier.
That's what I know, barbering. But that's the same with you. You know, you're the first, bro. That's fucking crazy. Lawyer here. So it's like our duty, bro. It's, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's so much negative shit going on that we have to.
Exactly. And that's why I love this shit, because it's just like, not only do we inform people, we give people value with the information we can, but it just brings a lot of people together, man.
Awareness,
you know?
bro. Awareness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it, like, going back to the knowing your rights, I think it's important, because I seen that video of a guy that got pulled over for no reason. Just the cop felt like pulling him over. So the guy knew his rights, and he was asking for an ID. So according to his rights, if you didn't give him a reason why he's pulling you over, he can't give you that information. Like he can't ask for your ID and then identification. So he was like, I'm not gonna give you this. This is in my rights, because you're pulling me over and you have no reason why. Like, why are you pulling me over?
I got pulled over like that before, and I was.
But
like,
he was able to school the cop because he knew his rights.
Right.
So what did he say?
He said, because you didn't. He just pulled him over just to pull him over.
Yeah.
So he said something about what's it called? His amendment.
Yeah, his amendment.
There's one that I guess.
Okay, well, that happened to me one time. I got pulled over. Like, I'm driving cool, nothing's wrong. Get pulled over, and then I'm like, well, fuck. Like, why did I get pulled over? Like, and then I asked nicely, of course. I put my.
I'm sorry,
like,
sir.
well, why did I get pulled over? You know, I had my driver's license, registration, and everything. He was like, oh, we're a gang task, and this is a heavily gang-infested area, so we're just doing random stops.
Well, he gave you a reason.
Nah, that was a random stop, bro.
I didn't break any rule. I fucking didn't do nothing.
That was a prejudice stop. They saw
like
brown in here.
Oh, well, it
like,
could be
driving,
in that
bro,
case they profiled you.
Like,
yeah.
he hit me with the light, boom, and I'm like, I'm driving, nigga, as he hits me with the light, boom. So I'm like, oh shit. So I keep driving, and then the cops coming this way. David was with me this time.
Yeah.
He fucking
Busted you.
I'm like, fuck, bro. I smoke weed, so I'm like, fuck. Probably, I might smell like weed, whatever. Fuck it. Pull over. Put the window down, give him my shit. I'm like, why am I getting pulled over? And that's what he said, you know. And then he ran my shit, came back, and I was clean. So
yeah.
Oh, so it was like a brown
but
skin
imagine
thing.
if it was just
Did you have your
if
little
it was
cute
a
red
legal
bandana?
motherfucker that got pulled over and he didn't have a license?
Did you have that cute little red bandana? That's probably why he pulled you over.
Nah, I was cool, bro. I was riding in the Blue Dragon. 2013 Hyundai Elantra.
Yeah.
Looking like a soccer
Rest in
mom.
peace. Yeah, in that case, he just gave you that answer, I guess, because he's.
So what do you do there? Genius.
In that case,
that's where we're gonna
fuck
watch
you.
Lorenzo Banks Know Your Rights.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, real shit. Yeah.
Honestly, because I think that's
at that point I would have said, man, is it because I'm brown? Be honest, bro.
Yeah.
Or like, you know.
Nah, I'm just trying to.
With all due respect,
I'm trying to go about my business, bro. I'm not trying to. I've been to county and I don't like it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I had a situation, like, I'm helping a customer today, and it's like, he was like, hey, I'm sorry, you put on, you require a mask to come inside the store and stuff like that. And he's like, all right, you asked for it. And he goes and puts on this mask, and it says Trump 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you think I told him, like, why do you think I don't like it? Because of brown or what? You know, he's like.
That's different, though.
I'm just saying, like.
I talk shit to people on the streets all the time, but not a cop, that's different.
I'm just saying, like, my point is, like.
Fuck that.
Just, yeah. I
just
mean,
a prejudice.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
go home, bro. I'm just.
A bias, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
We had a situation just yesterday, honestly. Someone came in our office, and he knocked on the door. And my assistant, Luisa, gets up. She opens the door. And he's like, yo, I'm looking for this person. And she's like, oh, well, he's not here right now. You know, oh, well, where's he at? I'm looking for him. And he's a big black dude, you know. And so I'm like, I hear him. I didn't see him, but I saw him. I heard him yelling at her. And I was like, I get up and I go to the door to see what's going on. And he goes, oh, man, you know what? I'm just going to leave because I know how y'all don't like blacks. I was like, what? I was like, you were yelling at my assistant. Like, I'm more protecting her than being biased or prejudiced against you. It's nothing about your skin color or anything like that. You're yelling at my assistant. But little things like that, you know, that those little biases, implicit biases that we talk about. Like,
and it's proven, bro. Like, if you go to 7-Eleven, you pull up, and then a white dude comes out, and then a black dude comes out right after. When the white dude comes out, you're probably just going to be like, whatever. When the black dude comes out, you're going to be like... Just because you're big motherfuckers, you know, and they're black. So when you see a black, you know, and big, like, you're gonna, and them niggas usually sagging and fucking had fucking cornrows looking like some pharaohs and shit. Like, you're gonna look at them, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's just, I don't know, man.
But I think that's one of those things where we also got to be better as a community and not say just because your skin is darker than mine, I'm gonna be afraid of you. Right.
Yes.
And so
that's what I love about fading up Southside. Fuck the COVID-19. But if you go to fading up Southside, you got Mexicans, you got blacks, and it's like everybody's cool, bro. And we're not even talking about race. We're not
right there,
we're watching sports. We're, you know, and it's
I think it's more of like, don't judge the book by its cover.
Absolutely.
You know, like, just don't.
White people, Asians,
no matter what,
shit.
like, just we just got to think about, we're all one. We're a human race. We all came out of a female's vagina, which means we're a human race. So it's just one. That's it. Like, I like my job, bro. Like, it's part-time, but in there's a diverse, there's a Japanese, there's a white, there's a black, there's a Muslim. And we all get together fine. Like, it's just, the chemistry is there, you know. So, like, I love that place. Like,
bro, I was fortunate to have that at an early age. So at Dove Science Academy, when I started in 6th grade, a majority of the teachers were Turkish. So that Muslim culture, I got to live it from 6th grade to 12th grade. But because we were right there on the north side, we had a big Asian population, 23rd, and we had a big Hispanic community. The minority were the white people. Right, so I had that melting pot, if
so
you
it
want
was
to call it.
The opposite.
The opposite,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So I had that from 6th to 12th grade. And then I go to Mid-America, where a majority are white, but all the Mexicans are on the soccer team, and then you have some black students on the basketball team, and the rest are pretty much white people, right? And then a complete turnaround when I hit law school. So it's been a crazy little ride right there on that cultural kind of understanding.
But I think us, especially the Hispanic community, like, I think we're friendly with anybody. Like, you hang out with a lot of diverse. I'm pretty sure you do.
Absolutely.
I do. I have all kinds of mix in the family. Like, it's crazy.
My first friends were black. Like, my first two best friends were black dudes. They were cool. Fucking, I didn't even speak English, bro. But we would just kick it. Like, it'd be cool, you know, play fucking PlayStation. And we didn't even have to talk. We would just be chilling.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any difference. My parents, thankfully, I have open-minded parents, and they would be like, if fucking Darius had a sleepover, like, my mom would wake up in the morning and cook us fucking pancakes for all of us, not just, you know, like, and then Darius could grab fucking soda from the refrigerator, whatever, you know. It was an open house, bro. Like, and I was blessed with that.
That's funny because my mom would be the opposite. She'd be like, "No traigas esos güerillos por aquí," and, you know, keep those kids out of here. Cause
no, and I mean, my grandpa was kind of like that because he was kind of older, so he'd be like esos negrillos, cuidado, porque son mañosos, or, you know, shit like that. But eventually, even he grew love for them because they'd be around so much, bro. They were my homies, so they'd be there. He'd take us to school, so it'd be like I don't know. Thankfully, bro.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just
but a lot of people are-
yeah.
I know
It goes
people
back to
are
that.
Racist. You know, like they just
Changing perspective, changing their minds of like, all right, it's not what you think. You maybe grew up, they maybe taught you that, oh, they're the bad people, or they do this, they do that.
Another weird encounter at Fading Up when we had just opened up over here. We're all in there, and 3 of the barbers have Mexican capes, so with the Mexican flag and shit.
Yeah.
And then there's no the windows. You look in, and then you can see there's no fucking tent or nothing. So white lady, older lady, she's walking and she looks, and I can see her. You know what I'm saying? And then she just looks like she stops and then she's like
Turns back
just
around.
nods her head, bro. And I can see her in her face though. She looks so angry.
Yeah.
And then she's like, just keeps walking. I was like, what the fuck? Like, she literally looked disgusted, bro,
Yeah.
looking at us.
Yeah,
I was
see,
like,
I don't hate white people, and I think that's one of the things. Like we can't
I don't think
hate
you.
anyone,
Yeah,
right?
I think it like there's certain like the racist type and stuff, whatever, right? It goes with any race, any color. I feel like you just can't label because I remember there was certain like certain things about
white people are in a weird position.
Yeah, they are,
but they hate us. bro.
I remember.
I was just saying they hate us. Like they truly hate dark skin color.
White people?
Not all of them.
Right,
I'm not saying all of them.
that's what like it's a really tough because I have white friends, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
do
So it's
too.
like
Like, look, today, bro, prime example. We're buying meat. You know, we had a long day at work, whatever. We finished by a certain time, so we go buy some carnes. We're going to make some carnes out the shop, so we walk into the store, grocery, our masks, everything. We're dirty, though. We just
Yeah.
came from work. You know, we got sand dust and shit. The corporate people are having, like, a little meeting. Like, just, like...
The supermarket people?
Well, no. Like, we walked to the back to the meat factory or whatever, and then all the... Like, it's nothing but white people. Boom. All in a circle. Suits and shit. They're just... And all the workers are working hard and shit. I'm like,
That's the corporate.
So corporate
Yeah,
came
yeah,
through,
yeah.
basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're walking, and then he runs into Elmer. So Elmer, naturally, he's like, oh, my bad, sir. So I was like, man, fuck that, bro. Because it's like, bro, you weren't in his way. You know, like, why are you humbling down so quick to call him, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Because he had a suit and he's a white dude and he...
Well,
Yeah.
he's showing education.
Yeah, I guess
Educación.
so.
You know, like, all right, you might have a fucking suit.
I guess I just have a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah, calm down,
I
bud.
looked at him and I was like, man, fuck that, bro.
Nah, it's
That
it's
nigga was
more
in
showing.
your way. He was in your way.
Yeah, I mean, they're just showing respect. I think depending on
I was
how
like,
you
next
want to look
time-
at
next
it.
time, just looking at him and be like,
What up, cuh?
don't
You're-
say yes, sir.
Yeah, it was just being educated, but it's a weird. They're in a weird position, man. Because like I said, I have a lot of white friends, and they treat us good,
Yeah.
and it's just it's weird. It's a weird position.
So what do y'all think about this? I'm gonna bring out a scenario. Right now, how many people have been into prison? Would you say in the population? A lot, like
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of
like
people.
just people in general.
People like, especially here, Southwest Oklahoma City. How many people do you know that have been in prison for from 6 months to 12 years?
Oh yeah, I don't know a lot.
You don't
Honestly,
know a lot?
I don't.
Okay, so I know a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when you're in jail, all that shit switches. Because in jail, it's like you're with the whites, you're with the blacks.
Everybody's equal at that point.
No. Well, you
Is-
can't talk. Like, if you're a black person in jail, you can't just go talk to a white boy. Like,
So
if you're-
they're hella divided in there.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
politics, bro.
that's that segregation.
You can't. Like, if you might say you can't even if you pass the white people shit or the Mexican shit, you can't even look at them. You can't. You just pass and go. A white boy kicking it with Mexicans, So let's say they go to jail and then they come out to the world. Now
That makes sense.
that's basically racism.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's one of those things that we talk about that we
it's
see in our
embedded. It's not even. It's just that's what it is, bro.
But our city is segregated. Think about that. Our city is segregated, right? Y'all, have you ever heard like?
Well,
all the-
Oklahoma's it's definitely one of the more racist states.
Segregated. What do you mean?
So South OKC. When I say South OKC, what do you think?
29th.
Mexicans. When
Little
I say,
Mexico.
When I say Northeast, what do you think?
Northeast.
Anything that has to do with
Martin
East.
Luther King,
Martin Luther King,
capital.
right? That's the black neighborhood,
Yep.
right? You go up Northwest 10th,
Chinos.
Guatemalans,
Shout out to
Yeah,
my west side.
right.
Shout out to my west side partners.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And so, and then you think about just like the middle, kind of like the middle north side,
Edmond?
Midtown, Edmond, right? That's
White.
still Edmond,
That's
right?
white.
And so we have in a way segregated ourselves.
That's basically like
Right.
jail. That's like when, but we
Well,
can
yeah, but
still
I'm
go there though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go live in Edmond. I'm not gonna go live in
either.
Edmond. I'm not gonna go live on the northeast side, Midwest City, Del City. I'm not gonna go live up anywhere on the north side. I live downtown right now because what my wife and I wanted to do for a little while we don't have kids. But as soon as we have the money and the resources to get a house, we're moving back into the south side. Why? Because that's our people, right? And so although we've segregated ourselves
Yes.
into our peoples, right? It's what we're comfortable with. And so because we've segregated ourselves in that way, we don't have the ability to learn from the other cultures sometimes. And we stick so much
You
to
still
what
can
we know.
though, but at the end of the day, what I say is if all the good motherfuckers are moving out, then that means this place is gonna be shit, bro. Because nothing good is here. So why the fuck come here? So if he's a lawyer. I'm a fucking whatever the fuck I am.
Entrepreneur.
Imagine if we just leave, like,
Yeah.
like now at the Southwest, like we should, because the people
Yes,
here
sir.
at the shop next door, the lady that cooks for us, bro, that's like our mom. Like,
Yeah.
we go.
It's like a
Tuesday through
community.
Saturday, bro.
Yeah.
She brings us our food. We see her mopping. We see her, So it's like that's like my grandma or whatever, and nobody is gonna understand her like we're gonna understand her.
Yeah.
And that's what people. I don't know if that's the race. I don't know what it is, bro.
It's
because
really
I
just the
I
unknown.
love all cultures. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if I get married or some shit like that, I think it'd have to be like somebody within my culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
No,
know
I
if
get that.
that's-
And that's
is
just
that
being,
racist?
nah, bro. It's just the unknown.
It's not. I mean, it just, yeah.
Because I think about it and I'm like, man, I'm trying to like.
You want to have carne asadas. You want to kick it. You want to be able to speak Spanish.
And then I want her to be having a good time and then her family to have a good time.
Yeah.
But if.
But
see,
it's a different scenario.
My sister, she made it happen.
That's what I'm saying.
My
Like,
sister
maybe
is a
you can-
fucking genius, bro. No, there's not a lot of people like my sister.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of people like this motherfucker. Like my sister, we need to have her on the podcast, bro, because she was like the first badass.
Yeah.
She
We
was
should,
probably
bro,
the
for
first
real.
person in Oklahoma to have
When
an
she-
Emmy, bro.
When she's coming?
She has 2 of them.
When is she's coming through?
She's kind of exclusive, bro. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
yeah, we
I'm
got
her
it.
manager. Good luck.
But it's crazy, man. It's a weird time, but I feel like once again the protest was needed.
Absolutely.
We don't know what's gonna happen, but I've been watching this thing on Netflix called Patriotic something. I forgot
I
that.
haven't watched that one.
Watch it, man. This guy just points out a lot of facts.
Yeah, well, I can't remember. What's
a
his
lot.
name?
The
He's
guy,
Middle
the
Eastern,
host,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but
See, it's not that good then.
no, it's good. It's good. I'm not worried about the name. I'm worried about the information
Yeah.
that's in it. So he talks about
What's the source?
so it has different episodes.
What's the source?
First of all, let me give you an example. TurboTax. They like to advertise it's free, but in reality, what they're trying to do is shove the deluxe version of it. They actually have a free version through the IRS. They partnered up with the IRS.
Yeah.
But when you Google that, it doesn't show
Yeah.
because they want you to buy the shit.
Ah.
So what he does is he takes off their mask. He talks about that. He talks about the news. Why
That's
is
what
it
I love
dying?
about the Half Core podcast.
He talks about the news and why is it dying. He talks about the COVID and how it destroyed America. He talks about the
What do you mean it
protests.
destroyed America? We're still going,
Well, yeah, but
bud.
a lot of businesses are shutting down. Local businesses, people that worked hard for their shit, and just because of lack of leadership, they're going to shit. Don't be surprised if in the next 6 months your favorite business, small business, closed down.
Absolutely.
Let's be 100. I've already seen a couple, like even like corporates.
I'm not
400
cut-
Wendy's are shutting down.
I'm not cutting right now.
And that's in a way it's good because we don't eat fast food. But to
Yeah.
give you an example, that's corporate. 400 Wendy's,
Wendy's.
which means a lot of people are going to be
Losing
unemployed.
jobs. It's cool.
It's
Make
cool.
sure you watch the Half Core
but-
podcast while you're at home, while
But
you're smoking your little weed.
My point is, people, if y'all want to get some good information, The Patriotic.
Patriotic.
Yeah, that's where it's at. It's,
No,
it's good.
Half-Core Podcast.
Half-Core Podcast,
Half-Core
obviously,
Podcast, shout
you know,
out.
the long form, you know, long format. But it's 22 clips,
Why not give a
videos.
free promo here?
Yeah.
It's good information, motherfucker. That's what I'm
cool.
just saying.
My
That's
bad.
my point. That's my point, you know.
I'm going against the grain, man.
For real. There is also news that, you know, Nick Cannon has Wildin' Out. He has Wildin' Out. He's had it for
Yeah.
15 years. And he said something on a podcast that it was the truth.
Truth.
I don't know the exact
Culture
words.
vultures.
It was like a culture thing. And
No, I know what he said. He said he said that the blacks were the true Hebrews, and that the big corporations were savage and he said savages,
Something like that.
selfish savages. That's, something along those words. So what he's saying is that those big media corporations don't really give a fuck about you, and somehow they let him in because he was doing drums and he was cute and shit. You know, they let him in, and now that he's like, I don't need you motherfuckers. I have my own podcast. I have YouTube. I have this. He said on his podcast that shit. So now they show Wildin' Out off of MTV, everything.
Yep.
What?
So Nick Cannon is, because he's, and don't be surprised if Nick Cannon
So
fucking starts maybe a rape, the rape allegations, and let me
what, rape?
let me just stop.
I mean,
bro.
you just said
Is he
Whenever you
involved
do-
with some
when-
shit?
No, what I'm saying, when you do shit like that, bro, you start getting weird shit.
You ain't
going
get
well,
on.
attacked.
I feel like,
Like your image, they start
right, they start throwing dirt on it. It's just,
because
it is what it
you're
is.
You're against like Nick Cannon, bro. Nick Cannon
But
is like,
man, Nick Cannon is at the point that he can even start his own network.
Yeah, he
he's
is.
like, he's run for 15 years.
that was a very brave move of Nick Cannon, though,
But
because he
it's-
was so. I mean,
It's freedom of speech, but to a certain degree, because a lot of people say
some people have
nothing.
freedom of speech, but they don't really.
But yeah,
have the
it costs
freedom
you. Sometimes
because
it costs you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
America, bro. You know,
you
can't
got to pay the
really-
consequences of that.
You gotta have the money to back that shit up.
So
Nick
I don't
Cannon-
know.
Nick
I don't know.
Cannon has the money. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure.
what's gonna happen is I heard he's gonna fight for the rights of Wildin' Out and then take that somewhere else. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna be like, come on in, because that's how
Oh,
it works,
yeah.
man. When
And I mean, right now, Nick Cannon, by doing that, bro, he's basically doing what Kaepernick did by putting a knee down.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what happens.
Enough, bro. I'm tired of fucking just being entertainment to you guys. Like,
exactly, and that's what happens. So he'll get like bad publicity and bad word and whatever, but then it goes back up. It's like Nike when they supported the Kaepernick movement, their stocks went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like a week later, it went up by a lot. And it happens with Tesla's the same, man.
And I
Tesla
mean,
just went
Kaepernick,
up.
bro. That has to be imagine what he was going through when he thought, I'm gonna kneel on the next game. Like, imagine
a lot. It's a
'cause
lot.
You know what I'm
'Cause it
saying?
cost him his
I've
job,
had
his
times where
career.
I'm gonna quit a job. Like, let's say I'm gonna quit a job. So I'm up thinking all fucking night. All right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what am I
Shit.
gonna do? Am I really gonna quit? Am I really? Blah, blah, blah. So imagine this nigga. He was.
Did you hear the story about why he took a knee?
Because he was tired of the brutality. And,
Well, he also talked to a guy that was in the army, a white dude. I can't remember his name, but he was talking to this guy, and he said, "Yo, you know, I don't appreciate you." Well, I didn't. He said, "I think it would be better if you took a knee rather than just sit, because if you're just sitting, it's more disrespectful. Whereas, like, we've taken knees to pray, right? We take a knee to do other things where it's still respectful." And so the guy, that Navy, Army, I can't remember what he was, said you should take a knee rather than just sit. And that's part of why he decided to, you know, he had protested
Yes, bro,
before,
because at
but
the
then he
end of
took
the
that
day,
knee
he's-
because he had that advice from
Yeah.
someone who said, you know, this would be respectful or more.
Yeah, it
because
just
of sitting down while that shit is going on.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been to baseball games and stuff like that, and I'm not American, so when people are sitting there like really with their hand, like just trying to, and I'm not, you know, it feels odd, bro. Like you're at a Texas Ranger game
Yeah.
with my dad that looks Mexican as fuck. I look Mexican as fuck, and then you got white people next to you. Just it is a culture culture shock.
Culture shock, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like whatever Nick Cannon decides to do, I think he's gonna be all right.
Yeah,
he
Nick
got
Cannon,
a shit
Nick
ton of
Cannon
money.
is done. I mean,
yeah.
Nick Cannon, bro, like you don't do bold shit like that unless you got to
Yeah.
back it up, bro.
the
because,
bread, the cheddar.
I mean, you have that fuck you money. That's basically what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
We were talking about the First Amendment and our freedom of speech, right? One of the things judges don't have is that they lose some of that. Think about how much if a case is, so the DACA case that was just in the Supreme Court, these Supreme Court justices can't come out and say, this is how I feel about DACA and this is the way it should be, right? Because their freedom of speech is somewhat limited in the way that they can react to things. They can't come out and be in public. They can't come out and be on this podcast probably for the same reason, because they're somewhat limited by that position.
I've been wanting to have cops on here, bro, and they're just like, I gotta ask my general or my. I'm like, all right.
And right now, yeah, it's an odd time. Also,
That's why lawyers.
Yeah.
I fuck with lawyers,
They're-
man,
they're
because
the-
you guys are basically.
We're here to advocate.
Look, this is how I look at it. Like, you got it's like cops and robbers type shit. And then the lawyers are kind of neutral. So it's like you guys get to see both sides.
Yeah.
So if you got a smart girl, send her to law school because you might need her, as Lil Durk would say.
yeah, it's crazy, crazy. You just got to watch out. I mean, even here when we talking, you know, we're pretty straightforward, pretty clear of what we're saying, and you know, but it's a sensitive world, man. A lot of people get butthurt real quick, and you just gotta, you know.
My dad was like, pinches niñas.
Yeah, it's so sensitive.
And I mean, bro, it's weird that we're sensitive, but at the end of the day, I think the United States is very savage in the sense that if you're not here to grind, work, or just accept the fact that you're going to be a fucking junkie, you're not going to make it here. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's just the facts, bro. I've seen people come from Mexico like, I'm going to try it out. And they come up here, they can't keep up.
They can't
the
keep up,
bills,
yeah.
the fucking...
Constant.
You gotta
like,
work. You gotta pay taxes. You gotta no, bro. A lot of people can't do it.
You gotta, like, I think that's why, like, you gotta make sure you're as clear as possible
Like this
mentally.
is, I feel like the United States is like the game, like Vegas, I guess, of just.
Well, that's why they said the U.S. population takes less vacations than anyone else in the world. We have less days off. The same reason, right? It's always go, and it's just go,
grind. And if you're not ready for that, like, don't come here, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck we gonna need you here for? To just sit at
This
the house?
this is one of the countries that really, like, besides all the negative shit we talk about, you know, because this has its.
I love America.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is the country that makes millionaires, billionaires, gives you the opportunity to do that, gives you the opportunity to follow your dreams. I mean, even by 5 years from now, there's going to be like 20 plus millions self-employed people. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. People are just doing their shit. And
Bro,
that's
my
awesome.
guy is the first undocumented.
Exactly.
fucking lawyer,
Exactly.
bro, in the
Like-
United States.
You know, like we
Like,
have a
imagine
lot.
the joy that his mom had when
And not only that, man, the percentage of Hispanic business owners is high.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to say 50% or more. I want to say, like,
So
there's
let's take
a
it
lot.
back. Let's take it back because I feel like the person you are probably has a lot to do with your parents.
Absolutely.
So talk about your parents a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, growing up, my parents always education, right? There's like, that's your way out. So it's funny when we in fifth grade, we were getting a lot of my classmates were getting these applications to these charter schools, and I'm thinking to myself, like, Mom, when am I gonna get my application? Because I was supposed to go to Roosevelt.
Yeah.
And if you know Roosevelt, at that time,
Hey, shout out Roosevelt.
Hey, you taking some pics? All right,
yeah,
man. Should've
at
brought
that
some.
time, Roosevelt was kind of, I mean, it was gang infested, if you want
Yeah.
to say, but I mean, it was Southside, Juaritos, GBC, all that, right? So
One year it was like the number one most violent middle school in America.
Right. And so
Shit.
to think of that, and then from Roosevelt, I was set to go to Capitol Hill.
That's the number two.
There we go, right? So my mom was
damn.
like, yo, like my cousins that lived 2 houses down from me were cops pulling up every once a week. They're Juaritos, claim Juaritos. And so, you know, drugs, fights, gangs, opposing gangs, Southside just up the street. And so it's just like a whole thing that was happening on my
Paul said
neighborhood.
it was within a 5-mile radius. It was a war zone, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean, my neighborhood was pretty bad, bro. I mean, there was barbed wire in the creek, so that if somebody was getting chased by the cops, we knew exactly where to run, so that somebody else would trip, right? And we knew exactly where that was and everything. So, I mean, the neighborhood I grew up around, the people I grew up around, I was like this close to just falling over the cliff, bro, and going bad, right? And so my mom was like, always just like, you know, stay away.
So you kinda like
focus
the
on
gangsta
education, bro. I was in the middle of it. You know, like one day I'd be like hanging out with Southside, the other day I'd be with GBC, the next day I'd be with Juaritos, and I'd just be in the middle of it because I was
Next
just a
day
people
the
person.
counselor's like, you're a good kid.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Don't hang out with them.
Yeah, the school counselor. Yeah, bro, I got
Shout
in
out to the
trouble in
school
school.
counselors,
Yeah,
man.
Absolutely, bro.
The
My
good
my sister-in-law's a school counselor.
And see, that's what I'm
Grant.
saying now, bro. Us, as we're 25, whatever the fuck. How old are you?
28.
28, 25,
27.
27.
Hombre, estoy
So
viejo.
now we're the ones that are being teachers, and so we actually can change this shit.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, bro, I was depressed about the fact that I couldn't change anything. Like, I was like, I'm just a kid, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody trusts what the fuck I gotta say. Nobody cares. Nobody, So
It's-
now,
yeah.
even
Especially, I was tired of
like-
hearing like, "Oh, Oklahoma can't do this." Oklahoma, I'm like, they can. Like, "Oh, Oklahoma's not a big
not
enough
just that,
market
like being,
to
being
do
young,
to
bro,
make a difference."
Being
Or to,
young
you know,
kind of sucks because Oklahoma, or any place, I would say, like, it's used to a certain way. So out of nowhere, you start, I don't know, seeing.
We're
like,
seeing
I was
younger
on the
people do more
newspaper
things.
when I was 17 because I shot a music video.
Mm.
Like, they thought that was that amazing. Like, when they seen a music video shot by me and directed, but like, they were so amazed, bro. Like, now if a 15-year-old drops a music video right now,
it's normal.
It's normal. Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, it's like,
so now it's our
we're breaking the boundaries,
now it's our
and
duty
we're
to go to like schools and be and it's cool, bro, because
Yeah.
it's
yeah. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things with like my parents also, you know, we go back to my parents a little bit, but they were always like school, 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 but then they always supported anything I wanted to do, right? So it was like for a little while it was soccer, and they would support me through soccer, and then they stopped supporting my soccer dream, and I was like, yeah, I got to keep going, you know, I got to keep playing soccer. So I played club soccer for 2 years, and then within those 2 years, they were like, yeah, we're not going to be driving you around anymore, because they also had that fear, right? Well, what if we get pulled over and we're all in the same car? What's going to happen? Na todos nos van a botar, right? And so that was a fear that they lived with their whole life and still do to this day. But as soon as I got into college, you know, it was just what any parent would do. We're going to do whatever we can to help you. When I was there, what can we help you with? What can we help you with? Always supportive, always there. Whenever law school was about to start, I told them, I said, hey, man, I told my family, this is my next 3 years. This is my focus. I'll miss birthday parties. I'll miss Christmas
Sacrifice.
things. Yeah, I'll miss a lot of things. But after these 3 years, you know, we're back. We're back into it, yeah. Unfortunately, my dad had a work accident back in 2013. And he spent about a month in the hospital, had like 20 surgeries on his leg, and then eventually had his leg amputated. And so we went through a lot of that, you know, kind of going back and forth, trying to stay
shout out
together.
to your dad for putting up with 20 surgeries, bro, because that has
shout
no
out.
fucking joke.
Bro, it was tough. It was tough, man. And so we spent a month in the hospital, and, you know, kind of going back and forth on that. It kind of happened around Thanksgiving time. So right before Christmas, he came out of the hospital. And so we dealt with that for a long time, you know, with him having to go to psychologists, getting a prosthetic leg and things like that. And so I was going through that with them. And so it was like a big burden, not just on me, but then my little brother, my little sister, right? My little brother was like 10, bro. And he's like experiencing this
all
crazy
that.
trauma, bro, this crazy trauma. And so then, you know, we kind of got through that a little bit. And there's still some, I think there's still some trauma in between us and like how we interact sometimes. Cause it's a hard little path that we went through right there. And then unfortunately for my dad's side, you know, fortunately, his mom was able to come back and forth for a little bit when she got a traveler's visa. But my grandpa passed away in Mexico, and, you know, my dad didn't have the chance to go back to see him. Yeah. Then on my mom's side, fortunately, all of her family is here, 9 brothers and sisters, and then my grandparents were here. And when both of my grandparents passed away, my mom was here, and they were here, and so that was, you know, that's a fortunate side on that end. But, you know, it's the immigrant story. You know, when will we return to our country and then be able to come back to our home?
Bro, I see my dad cry today.
Yeah. Was it for the same reason, or kind of?
His cousin had to go because he was sick. He has diabetes and shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, marrano, pues, a ver cuando nos caes pa' acá para hacer una carne asada. My dad was like,
yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's yeah, definitely. Like, you know, my lady she has a grandpa, and yeah, she's like crazy to see him because you never know when it's the last time. So like it can hit you. Yeah, I definitely understand. Like, especially like when you can't see. Like I can imagine my uncle, that was locked up and couldn't, like, him and my mom were so close. So him locked up to get the news like, hey, your sister passed away. Like that had like.
And my mom, she just went through it. My grandma died like a month ago.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
I had to go through the live shit. Like,
damn.
Yeah, bro.
Just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I'm telling you, man. That's why, like, I think the most important it goes back to the most important part is like making sure you're there mentally, because you have a lot to juggle, especially like if you're worrying about like I'm not trying to go, you know, get deported and whatever. Like you have a lot, like life, work, you know, if you have kids, and then, you know, the family over there, like keeping up, and like it's a lot, man. Like
I'm reading this book. It's by, her name is Julissa Arce. She undocumented as well, and she was born in Mexico and then raised in San Antonio. And she talks about her journey about like going back and forth and then living with their grandma in Mexico and then coming to the U.S. and then staying in the U.S. Right. And so she was talking about that and like how she was so separated from her family, but she got to Goldman Sachs and made VP initially as an undocumented person. And she went out and bought her fake papers and got hired at Goldman Sachs, bro. Like, I mean, Goldman Sachs in the middle of New York City,
like the biggest,
the biggest
goal, like, achievement.
And so she gets in as an undocumented person using these fake papers, and then she goes on and she becomes this VP. But there was a point in her story where she's talking about how her being undocumented didn't allow her to feel what she wanted to feel in that moment. And bro, I live that a lot, right? So like going through law school, finishing law school, you know, being a lawyer and things like that, I a lot of the times I find myself being numb because I don't have time to feel, right? Sometimes I don't have time to feel. So my wife checks me sometimes like, yo, what are you thinking? What are you doing? You know, so she's like, you know, come back to reality and feel something. Tell me what you're feeling. How are you feeling? What are you thinking? Things like that. Yeah. And so I appreciate her for really calling me out and keeping me in check on things like that.
Yeah, I think one thing we would love to have is a psychologist, somebody that can help us out to understand and prevent depression, and like especially in situations like this where you have the whole COVID and like people lost their jobs, so they're probably scared to go out, scared to, you know, so it's the mental side, I feel like it's tough, man. It's like it's gone up, like the depression, and maybe like I don't know how the suicide shit's looking like right now, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
A lot of niggas are hungry too.
Yeah, the homeless.
I saw an article that there was gonna be probably a lot more deaths off of starvation than there was gonna be off COVID, because people are losing their jobs and all that shit. So
yeah, like shit, like fuck. Here we go again with the fucking. It was going good, man. We had to just fucking go to the reality, which is this whole shit. Because I'm like, damn, almost every podcast we talk about COVID and the situation,
the conversations that people don't want to have,
right?
Bro.
And it's like,
you're crying.
If he's over here, you know what I'm saying? We out here getting sentimental and shit. But it is reality, man. It's just what it comes down to.
Bro. Immigration's a vulnerable spot for me because I'm like, fuck, bro.
Yeah. I feel like,
and I actually tweeted about that just yesterday. I tweeted Julissa because she made a really bold statement in her. When she made that statement, it really got me thinking. I was like, damn, I really don't have like the time to feel sometimes. And then I started thinking to myself, like, she talks about how she.
I think that's why I don't know. I mean, you probably know because you're a lawyer, but drug use and suicide is high within lawyers. So
alcohol, drug, and suicide. Those are big things amongst lawyers. But Julissa talks about how she was able to, when she got her green card, she was able to travel back to Mexico. And she was able to hang out with their family back in Mexico and go back to all the spots that they had visited when she was young and all that. And, bro, it hit me hard. I was like, I'm never going to get to do that with my family. I'm never going to be able to go see where my dad went to school with him. I'm never going to go to see where my mom went to school, my mom lived, things like that.
I got to see it, but today it was sad because my dad, he's a respectable dude, bro. Like, he's done a lot.
Yeah.
And for him to cry over that, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
it was probably the few times you've seen him like that, huh? Because
my dad's crying. No, fuck, I'm crying.
Yeah, bro. I definitely like. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like, I can tell right off the bat, like, your dad is like a tough guy, and he's been the strong one from the family. You know, I have mad respect for your dad, bro. Real shit. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's a very sensitive, topic when it comes to stuff like this. And shit. Yeah. What do you think would be the solution, man, if you're, in office and you're trying to make sure? Because, I mean, the way Trump made it seem, and fuck politics, I fucking hate it, but it's like, he's like, we're going to get the people that are illegal, get them out. and have a system where they can come back in. That's his whole, you know. But let's be real, man. That's not the way it works,
That's
bro.
not
Come
the
on.
way it works, bro. Well, that's the issue with immigration. And there's another book I was reading, and it was the title of it's like
my bad. I just hope we all get deported together so we can go fuck some shit up in Mexico.
Exactly.
Hey, I know if shit goes
Y'all
to
just
shit.
educated us. We speak English. I got tats.
Mexico's about to
I know
take
how
over.
to rap.
Hey, we take the Half Court podcast to Mexico.
Oh, stop.
Stop playing. Stop playing, man.
Bro, you know, that's reality because, like, so the attorney I work with, his wife is also on DACA, right? And so whenever we talk about DACA, it's not just me, it's his wife and then our whole clientele. But what happens when that goes away, or if she gets deported, or if I get deported? Well, I mean, we've talked about just popping shop in Mexico and on the border
Like,
and
I have a
doing
plan.
things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, we've thought about things like that, but I mean, I think it's gonna come down to voting in November. Vote Trump out 100%. I think
Both are not qualified, but let's go for the opposite.
Yeah.
Trump is not. Man, it's just fuck. This guy, Joe Biden he's not there. But then again, I'd rather have him.
Yeah,
than Trump.
and you gotta think
Real
about like
shit.
you know we're not. It's hard to say like. Pick your evil, I guess. You know,
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison. Yeah, right. Well, like, I mean, the things that Trump has said, bro. I mean, those.
It's just
how do you even like?
His thing is like what every day I feel like he has a list. Like, all right, today I'm gonna tweet 5 shit. I don't give a fuck what it is. I'm just gonna tweet it.
Yeah. Like,
You know?
how do you justify the things he says?
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't. Yeah, you can't. I was reading a post today about the Confederacy flag. Right, and like the symbol of the Confederacy flag, and just because you think it means something different, the symbol is still the same because the Confederacy flag is the Confederacy flag, and it was used for a purpose. Right, they were fighting for state rights, but the state right that they were fighting for was to enslave the black man, the black people, the black population, and so like
there's
symbols,
paper towels. I'm not paper towels. Kleenex, bro, because those right
those
there,
will hurt.
they're the box right there. The box.
yeah, right there at the bottom of the
'cause
backpack.
the paper towels can be rough on the nose.
Yeah.
So go ahead, bro. What were you saying about
So
the
like
flag?
just symbols, bro, and symbols, and then the way that now what Trump symbolizes, right? And he's come out and said like, yo, the Confederacy flag is okay, and people say like, yeah, well, it's my First Amendment right to support the Confederacy flag, but do you understand what you're supporting whenever you're supporting that flag, right? It's not your belief, it's what that actual flag symbolizes.
yeah.
And so for me, like, I see Trump and it symbolizes something similar.
Yeah.
Right? And so
I definitely when I see Trump, it's like the first thing I think is division. Like we've been more divided than ever. Like it's just the Civil War.
Yeah.
Like it's just everybody's divided, and it's just ridiculous. You know, like it's just like it needs to stop. Like this is what being in America it isn't about. You know, it's not about. Like we all supposed to come together as one.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna recommend a podcast for everyone else. I know take some time, of course, to listen to Half Court, but there's a podcast out there, 1619, and it really goes. I mean, it takes you back through the history of
Oh, yeah,
slaving. I don't know
if
if you had a chance to hear of it.
I have
or
not, but
anything.
it's always good to like know the history, and especially if they're talking about it with facts. Because I feel especially schools, you know, like they say they like to glorify Christopher Columbus, the guy that came and took the golds from the islands and raped these people and
killed
exactly. And they like to grow up like the guy who discovered America, but why he's looking like the good guy when he really wasn't, you know? So it's like, just as long as they're speaking facts, and let's go for it, you know? 1619, you said?
1619, brother. It really breaks down. I mean, in one of the episodes, she travels to Louisiana and she talks to someone who was running a farm, whose farm has been in his family for generations. And basically what happened to him is he was applying for these loans after his dad died, and they would hold off his loan until it was basically too late for him to start cropping. And then that happened for like 5-6 years, and they went back, and there was actually a whistleblower who called him, was like, yo, do you know what's been happening with your loans? Somebody was forging his signature and changing the loan amount so that he would get less money and at a later time. So after like 5 years of this happening to him, of course his farm is going to go under. He's not going to be able to pay for his farm, and then everything that he had on his mortgage, of course, is going to get foreclosed on, right? But it's a concrete like example of what really happened and what continues to happen even now, bro. Even now, like it continues to happen, you know. And so, you know, to think about like our presidency. I mean, growing up, I was like, this president in the United States, like I said earlier, it's not going to do anything to me. I'm a Mexican citizen. It's not going to affect me. But look at us now, you know, with DACA and immigration and things like that.
It just like, I don't pay attention to politics too much because it's just so full of shit. It's always the Democrats, Republicans, and they're all just in it for the same shit at the end of the day. But I've never seen somebody that like, I don't know. I don't even know how you even word it, but it's like Trump is just out of hand. Like he just came in. I remember the first statement. He was like, Mexicans are rapists. They're thieves. They're drug. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Like, I don't know if that was a strategy, but it was like, whoa, here we go. And then that activated a lot of the racist people.
It brought them out.
It brought them out.
I
don't know, man. It's just crazy. And it's like, in the patriotic thing, you know, they talk about the elections and how messed up it is because there's certain systems that, I don't know, it's some weird shit that it doesn't, he didn't receive much votes, but certain things and rules and shit gave him the edge to
it may
win.
be the part of the gerrymandering.
It could be that. I really don't remember the exact terms, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. But
yeah, gerrymandering is basically the way you divide your districts.
Yeah.
Right. So they're like, all right, we have 10 Republicans and 10 Democrats right here. Well, we're gonna draw the line so that there's 10 Republicans, we're gonna draw the line so that there's like 5 Republicans and 5 Republicans over here, and then there's gonna be 2 Democrats over here and 2 over here, so that the Republican side is always gonna win, basically. And so there's been fights, battles, all the times about gerrymandering and like redrawing our districts. I mean, you'll look at some of these districts, bro, and they're drawn out like this, like crazy lines. Yeah, like what? Why would you even draw it like that? But it's part of the system. It's part of the system that's, you know, it's been the way it is. But we really have to change those things, and those lines get redrawn every so often. So whoever controls if the Democrats are control or the Republicans control, that's who's going to redraw those districts and basically make them work for themselves.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
There's a lot there. Yeah.
As far as sports, you know, you're a big soccer fan.
Yeah.
Is there any other sport you follow?
You know, I started following a little bit of football when I started playing fantasy football, and then Thunder, of course, when they came here. But really, I'm more just soccer oriented. What's interesting about like my soccer career, my soccer knowledge, is I grew up watching Mexican soccer because you know, my dad's Mexican and
Chivas America.
Oh, Águilas.
Boy.
Hey. Everybody knows that battle.
There was
El Cuau.
and I'm pretty sure you heard of it. Sion, right? You know who he is. There's some article that leaked or a news report that leaked that he got paid in college $400,000. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen
All
that.
his niggas were smoking gas.
Everybody it was a party for them.
It was like, because in college, that's the crazy thing. When you're a college athlete, you don't get paid for shit.
Right.
Even though you're the big star generating the millions for them.
Millions.
Like when Zion was in college, bro, the tickets, like the price.
See, that's some bullshit.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like, and I'm glad the NBA came back with this shit because they're like, if you're getting out of high school, you had to go to college at least a year to
they
get
got rid of
drafted.
it, right?
They got rid of that shit.
People have to take into consideration the risk that athletes take because
Exactly.
they're giving away all their whole energy to
Their whole life.
to your. Let's say me and you fucking did this whole half-core podcast for 1,000 episodes, and then like people just came through and they were just like, fucking. That ain't nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is with them. Fucking eighth. Or usually the people that are good started young. So, like, Alex Salcedo started at, like, 7 years old. So, you mean to tell me if this nigga breaks his wrist at fucking 27 after he put in all that work, now he has to go work sheetrock and fucking.
Yeah, 9 to 5 or some shit like
That's a
that.
big ass risk, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Shout out to my nigga Alex, bro. He's
shout out,
successful.
yeah, shout out.
Not a lot of motherfuckers like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, like the NCAA makes a shit millions, like
Millions.
probably billions. And who
Probably.
knows, right? And they don't pay their athletes not 1 cent, not 1 cent. They don't get paid.
That's how it was for artists for the longest, bro.
So like this report, I guess it was a brand that reached out to him and said, hey, and to me 400,000 ain't shit, but hey, for a kid that's broke and comes from the trenches and shit,
I'll take it.
I'll take it, right? So it became big news, and I'm like, bro, like
I need some shoes.
it became big news, headlines everywhere. Oh, Zion accepted this, and then his stepfather accepted it, and bro, what's the big deal? So like to me, either the college needs to fix that where they pay them something,
They've been
or
talking
that's
about
it.
that.
Everybody's gonna go straight from high school to the NBA because it's just like it's
NBA
Go to
corrupt.
NBA kids.
They're corrupt, So
Fuck
They've-
college.
They've
Yeah.
been talking about that though, right? They've been talking about changing it up so
they should. A lot of people, a lot of celebrities, athletes are they're against that. Like college athletes should get paid because
Yeah.
like even Zion himself, he was selling out. Like celebrities would go and watch him play. But then he almost got injured. Like it was scary. His shoe. This motherfucker's a freak of nature. He broke his fucking shoe.
Yeah, that Nike
like,
shoe.
That shit, the swole just opened, so you can see like the shoe just hanging off of his
Goddamn
foot.
animal.
Yeah, I
Fucking
remember
animal.
that.
He almost got injured, bro. So that was scary. I was like, fuck. But then again, it shows you like if that was a career-ending injury, like
Yeah, bro.
he would have been
And
toasted.
Same with artists and shit like that, bro. Like it's a tough field. Being an undocumented lawyer, bro. All the
Yeah.
shit that you had to deal with.
Yeah, and I think part of this whole hopefully opens up to college students getting paid.
Like college football players too, man.
Yeah, college
They
players.
should, yeah.
I've said this to a couple people in the past. I've said
Are they ready for it?
It's basically modern slavery, bro. When you think about like all NFL teams are owned by white folks.
Yeah,
Bro.
And then in that case,
Bro,
that's when
they-
they love the black people because the
Yeah.
black
United-
athletes.
The
Because it's
United
like
States is modern day.
Who are they
slavery.
gonna pay the most? Right?
Yeah.
So that's one of my things on that. But aside from that, another one of my goals is to become a sports agent. So I've had people reach out to me on Instagram just because they see I'm a lawyer and I do soccer and things around here, and they'll hit me up. I had someone hit me up from Florida. I heard y'all talked about Josh Garcia while y'all were talking about Alex Salcedo.
Shout out to Josh.
Bro, I got the first call from the Dominican Republic that said, "Yo, we want to bring Josh to the Dominican Republic." They called me. I was like, "What? Why you calling me? I don't even.
That's
not
what
his
we call
agent.
plug
Nothing."
bass. You heard?
Yeah.
I definitely want to get into that scene. Like one of my goals is to be able to go to like courtside games and like even have like basketball celebrities in here and like
Bro,
talk.
making kids like you shared with me in the past that you wanted to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
So imagine if you're able to go somewhere and then you see a little kid cold as fuck, but he can't afford no shoes. He can't pay for the tournament. He can't.
Yep.
So if you can just make it happen for him, like just
That's
you know what I'm saying?
man.
How fuck all the money, fuck CNN,
No, yeah, I think-
fuck everything, bro. Imagine the joy that you would get out of that.
Even
you know?
like me, bro. Like today, for example, I went to the gas station, bro, and then there's this gentleman, man, that he greets every single customer that walks in. Keep in mind, it's a gas station. It's here in the South. You get your rude people, you know. And he greeted everybody and like, hey, how's your day going and shit. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. It's really hard to find people that are in a job where you,
Passionate.
And I was like, man, if I had some money, I would have blessed him.
Yeah, bro.
Like, hey, here you go, 100 or
Bro,
whatever.
your cousin yesterday, I was editing a video and I'm editing, I get in my zone, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then he gets excited, bro. Like I look back and he's all like, "Oh shit, bro!"
He's like, that's the one right there. Yeah.
He was excited, bro. He was like, "Nigga, if I had money right now, bro, I would have just gave you like
Made it
as
rain
much
on you.
as I could, bro, because that shit made me happy, bro."
I think that's to me, it feels me like I seen that, and I went through a McDonald's because I get breakfast, right? I get my little McGriddles and shit, and the lady too, right off the bat, greeted me through the drive-through. You know welcome to McDonald's. Your total is this. I'm like, thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. And then when I get to the windows, and I'm like, damn, like I wish
see,
I could
I'm
have
mad
blessed her
about
because
that, bro.
we need people like that.
Yeah.
And
Like, you know
I need to even get better at that and say, hey, you know
Thank
what?
you.
Thank you very much. Like we need people like you. You made my day, my morning.
Bro,
better,
it's
'cause they
crazy
need that
because
shit.
positivity is so underrated that it's almost weird.
We don't pay
Yeah.
attention
you know,
to that.
If you randomly like hit your homie up and you're like, "Hey, bro, I hope you have a fucking good day. I've been thinking about you. Whatever." Boom, boom.
Shout out to my nigga Patrick. He just hit
You
me
know
with
what
a
I'm saying?
text this
That would
morning saying
like,
that
A
shit.
lot of people would be like, "What the fuck?" Like, what is wrong with him? But you need positive people like that,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
because if you're feeling,
That encouragement.
you should share those vibrations. Those
Exactly.
You know, like,
It's all about that.
If you have
Yeah.
positive shit going on, share it.
You know,
share
you
it.
know what's changed my attitude about the courthouse in the last month or so? There are 2 young sheriffs, Latinos.
Freddie and Ed.
Ah, shit.
Bro.
Shout out to them, bro. I'm telling you,
Exactly,
bro.
bro.
We out here. We out here, man.
Bro, I walk in, I'm
You're-
like, yo, what's up? You know, they're like, oh, he's an attorney, he's good.
Yeah.
You know, like they, bro, it's
Hey,
nice to
I'm
just
their
walk in.
barber.
Oh shit, for real? Okay.
I'm
All
not
right.
cutting y'all dirty niggas up. Y'all been at the courthouse all day.
That's funny, bro. But that's them two, and then the homie Cleo that shines our shoes, bro.
Hell yeah.
And there's another sheriff. He's an older black dude, but man, it really changes your vibe as well, just to have positive
Bro, it's
people
crazy
and then
because
your
I
people around
seen
you.
Freddie and Eduardo. I've been cutting the hair here, bro, before this podcast shit.
Yeah.
Here, like
Bro, it's crazy.
Freddie would get up. Sorry,
No,
bro.
you could go ahead,
He
go
would
ahead.
get off because they were COs before they were cops.
Okay.
For like 4 years, they were at the county in the jungle.
Yeah.
In the jungle, bro.
I remember that's the
With no
crazy
gun,
part, bro.
With no taser,
That
with
is
nothing,
fucking
bro. They were,
crazy.
like,
Because I would come here and like he's cutting them up, and we're talking about that, and he's talking about like, man, I want to be a cop. And I remember that shit.
yeah,
It's
bro,
fucking
it's
crazy, just to see the
And-
progress.
and just the guts that these.
Yeah.
I've been at the barbershop. You know the barbershop. There's crazy motherfuckers in the barbershop.
Yeah.
I'm cutting Eduardo up. This dude's like, I don't know if this is gonna get him in trouble. People probably won't see it, but this dude's like, I love everybody. Mexican, whites, Asians, everybody. Except cops. He was like, fuck cops. And then Eduardo, I'm cutting him up, and he's just like, I'm a cop, bro. And he's like, no, I think he said, take that badge off, and we'll see what's up. And then he looked at him dead in the face. Cac, you know Cac.
Cat? Ah, shit. Come on.
Eduardo's a little nigga. He looks at him and he's like, I'll take this fucking badge off, bro. And then I'm just like, stop.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
he's
Put some respect on the name,
Yeah.
man.
Shout out to my nigga Lalo. That's
Yeah, shout out
that's
to
a
them,
solid
bro.
one right there.
Honestly.
Yeah, especially if they're doing good,
Freddie
bro.
too.
Like real shit, bro. Like you just can't be like,
They're actually changing shit, and that's what I meant
Yeah.
to say. Like when I cut their hair, I was going through school. They see me go through everything, you know. So I would see them like, House County, this and that, and like, oh, and then finally they get accepted into the academy together.
yeah.
So I'm like, oh my god.
I
And then-
remember it goes back to like I seen Freddie we were at Senor Shots, and I seen him and I said, what's up, bro? Like, hey, you know, like you finally officially like in there in the cop, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah. I'm like, bro, be proud of that
Yeah,
shit. You
right,
know, it's
be
like,
proud of it.
you know, like you're one of the good ones.
Absolutely.
Like, be proud of that shit,
And
bro.
see,
Like,
Lalo, whenever the whole cop shit was going on, I cut him up that weekend.
Yeah.
So he came through, cut him up, and then he's like, thank you for not treating me different, bro. Because it's been
that's deep.
tough. Because, bro, when Lalo comes in, I mean, even though he's been a fucking, like you, bro, you're a lawyer now. But let's say Marcos, he doesn't look at you as a lawyer. You know, he
Yeah.
looks at you like
I'm
the
Boyle,
nigga that
bro.
ate a fish off of a fucking tank at
I did that.
at a party.
did
and
what?
I
shit.
did that. I ate a goldfish out of a fish
one-
tank, bro.
a party?
Yeah, at a party. I was just like,
Y'all was drunk and shit?
yeah, they're like, do
Ah.
it. I was like, bueno. If
Fuck
y'all-
it. Fuck it.
Hey, sometimes you gotta take a leap of faith.
Yeah, bro.
You know?
That's
for the
fucking
party.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Like with Lalo, and that's good that they're in the court. Because
Mm-hmm.
at first I was like, y'all should be out in the streets, but at the court, everybody goes to the courthouse.
Yeah.
So if
And
they
then
see those faces there, brown, and then
Yeah,
they're good
yeah.
people, bro. They're good people.
And it's nice to bring our culture in there too, because now that with COVID and all, they have more people in there cleaning, and guess
Yeah.
who's all cleaning?
I'm glad my niggas ain't in county fighting fucking
all,
felons all day.
all the people that are cleaning, bro, are Mexican ladies. Mexican, Hispanic, Latina ladies. And so like
They love them, huh?
Bro, I'll walk into the courtroom and they're like, "Habla español?" And so I'll start talking to them in Spanish, and we just kind of talk. And I'll be walking out, and she's talking to Freddie or to Lalo, and they're talking in Spanish. And so it's just nice to, be comfortable in that area with them like that too.
Bro, because the courthouse, I mean, when I was going in there,
Nobody wants to be
It's
there.
intense, bro. It's like everybody's going through it. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't do the job as an
Bro, I was in
attorney
there
or
when I was paying all my shit off. I was at the line to pay where the
Yeah, on the
little-
4th floor.
I don't know. Like, you go in, and then where you pay, it's like the little vidrios and shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So one
you
of
were
the
at City
cops,
probably.
Like, bro, I'm not paying attention. I kind of walk, and he's like, "Hey!" Like, just yells at me. So I'm like, "Hell no! I'm not about to just let this nigga do that." So I'm like, I walk up to him, and I shake his hand.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, like, put my hand out. I'm like, "My name is Aaron. Don't do that, bro. Don't say hey, because it's not my name.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it if you just,
Or sir
have
or
some respect,
something.
bro."
Yeah.
And then he didn't know what to say, bro. He was just stuck.
Yeah.
But usually I would have said some other shit, but I was,
Yeah.
because it was, So I'm glad that Lalo and Freddie are holding down over there.
Yeah, I appreciate them. I think you see it at different levels. From, like I was telling you, we have the city, the county, and the state and things. But when you go to city court, it's a little bit more chill. It's not as like high stress as the county is. Because when you're in the county, bro, it's a higher degree of criminal or family or things like that. But it's a whole different vibe when you're in county. And then another thing, right? I've been to like courthouse in Clinton, out in Guthrie, and I think I haven't been out to Shawnee. I've been out in Norman. And so every courthouse has its own little vibe, It's its own layout, and people know each other in that courthouse. So sometimes when I go out to these smaller courthouses,
know you.
I'm the big city lawyer. I'm big city, right? Because they're all these small towns. So they look at me and they're like, "Wow, we don't know you. You're not around here often." And so they're like, give me this eye. And I'm like, "Oh, hey, how's everyone doing? Yeah, I'm coming in from the city. Da, da, da,
And see,
da."
that's good that you're diverse.
Yeah.
You're not.
El Reno is one of my favorite places to go to. There's a little shop I stop at every time, get my burrito de huevo con chorizo, and get back on the road, bro. But
Oh, yeah.
I love going to El Reno too. I mean, that's one of the things that I love about what I'm doing right now is I get to go
Everywhere.
be all over the
state.
place.
Yeah. All over the
You-
state.
You gotta be, man. I think that's what I like, man. When I have a day off and I have nothing, like I've edit all my shit, I got nothing to shoot, I'm losing my mind. I'm like, I can't stay still. I'm used to like being out and about, and it feels good though.
Yeah.
Like it feels hella good. You have those days where you want to rest and
Sucks,
chill.
bro.
You said what?
Kind of sucks.
Oh, with this whole situation,
Yeah, because now I mean, we're
I
very
still,
limited,
I'm
you
still,
know?
yeah, I'm still out and about, but obviously with the right precautions and shit, But it's fun. It's amazing and shit. Like I get a high off of it, So,
Yeah. Yeah, one of
How
the
long
other
have we been in?
we're about to hit 2 hours and 4 minutes.
2 hours and 4 minutes.
It's
Right
crazy.
now?
Yeah.
What?
Man, this has by far has been like one of the
man.
smoothest like podcasts. Like it's been just from one thing to the other, boom, 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 boom. Like
I was gonna tell y'all that too. I could talk for just
cool.
talk, bro. Just talk.
we're in here.
I
We're
mean,
deep.
we don't have a network.
Yeah,
I know, right?
we run this shit.
Yeah.
We got our network,
This is our shit.
Real shit,
Yeah.
I have a question, man. As a lawyer, what is your biggest fear?
I was gonna say getting fired, but I've been fired, so not that. Like clients have fired me. That was stressful. Really, I think my biggest fear is like not representing someone well, and it happened. I think there was and the 3 times really I've been fired 3 times. I think there was a lack of communication, and then maybe I wasn't too into their case kind of deal. And so I caught myself in those moments, and I was like, yo, I can't let that happen again, because our reputation goes a long way, right?
Yes, sir.
If I do one bad job, that one person knows 300 people, and those 300 people are going to know that I did a bad job, and they're not going to understand that something else might have happened, or I just wasn't in something was happening, man. So that's really one of my biggest fears with that. As far as everything else that I do, I try to just stay within the community, stay engaged, stay out of trouble. The whole drinking and driving no more. I always Uber, always Lyft kind of thing. So you know, a big fear with me is the DACA thing, right? So until I get my and even when I get my green card, I still got to.
You still got another process to.
Yeah, and so just staying on top of my things, making sure I don't miss any deadlines, making sure I'm returning calls, things like that. Just being respectable to clients, and like the situation where the guy that came into our office was like, oh, I know you guys don't like black people or whatever. I'm like, no, those are things that are bothersome to me because, like, really, like I said, my reputation, like,
right. Like, why are you saying that when we haven't even gave you a reason to?
No reason.
Yeah. What has been any like scenarios that you've been stressed as hell, and you're like, what do you do to kind of like?
Let me go buy a pack of Newports.
Nah, fuck that.
Honestly, when I was submitting my green card application, it was the most stressful time for me, bro. I got married in August 2019. And I had my application done like at the middle August, September, like middle September, and I held off because I was just nervous. I was stressed out. I was like, I'm not gonna send this. I got something wrong. I went through it like 10 times, and I go through all my clients' applications 5, 6, 7 times, but mine I was like, ooh, no, I can't miss anything. Yeah, I was stressed, bro. I was freaking out. And so like little things like that like. This was my first year filing my taxes as an attorney and actually having a full-time job, making decent money. And so like this whole idea of becoming a grown-up, right? Hitting this 28, 29, 30, this 30 mark. I have like some goals that I want to reach in the next 5 years. And it's fear of missing out. I think that that's kind of like, I don't want to miss on an opportunity where I have an opportunity to either teach someone or educate someone or just help someone get to the next step. And so, to de-stress for me, soccer. So with the football factory and what we do with the football factory was kind of like you guys mentioned, right? Giving these kids this opportunity to just get out and play. And so that's really what de-stresses me. I run the football factory social media. I run my personal kind of brand, Latino.
I like that. I like the name on that. It's pretty creative and shit.
And then I run our Javier Hernandez Instagram, and I just created a Twitter. And so I was listening to Gary Vee the other day, and he's like, if you have a small business, create a marketing company around it. And I was like, damn, Gary Vee, you just,
Gary Vee's the guy, man.
I was like, you're right, bro.
I love that guy.
Yeah, and so things like that, to help me de-stress and then make sure I'm kind of keeping my head right. And then my wife, like I said, always checking me like, yo, what's going on? What do you have? What's bothering you, kind of thing. And since we live downtown, we'll hop on our bike sometime and just cruise around. So that's nice. Yeah, get around, walk around. We don't have a dog. We don't have any pets or anything like that. So, we're pretty affectionate to each other as well. And so just having some cuddle time kind of thing.
You got to have the time to go and just enjoy yourself and chill.
Yeah. And for me, like
life is right, especially right now. We're living through the biggest mind fuck of
so many
history, probably.
There was a whole article or something about how people are more emotional now for the same reason.
I just cried on the podcast.
Yeah.
Fucking Harry. Shit.
For the same reason, right? Because we've been so
we might fucking die, nigga.
Yeah, it was isolated too.
That's why like you have to keep that balance, and like, as long as you're enjoying the process, like I gotta, like, right now, like I'm part-time, I work part-time, and like I have 4 straight days off. I'm like, fuck. So like I'm already like, all right, these 2 days I'm gonna work, but the other 2 days I'm gonna chill and like spend family time and like just chill. Like I want to go to the river, so I might hit up Turner Falls or float the river. Like obviously taking the right precautions, but you gotta have fun, bro. Like real shit, you gotta have fun. Like I might invite your ass, but I know your ass is gonna be like, I don't do that. I can't swim.
Put on a nice life vest.
But it's just the balance, man. The balance. I feel like
honestly,
it's really what it comes down to.
I don't know. Sometimes like you just feel like there's not enough time. That's the thing that I feel.
But that's
I'm
the
just
thing.
like, man, like that's why I don't have a girl or I don't have no obligations or nothing, because I'm just like I'm full throttle in what I'm doing. Boom, 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 boom. But then that can get depressing too sometimes.
Exactly. Like,
but I've been doing it. I've been doing it for long, bro. Good. And I was in a relationship before, and she put up with it for a little bit, and then she got tired.
You got it.
But I've been on it, bro. I've been like, fuck it, nigga. Like, by the time I'm 30, I'm trying to be debt-free, chilling.
Yeah.
doing whatever the fuck I want. So
It's-
right
it-
now, if I fuck a vacation right now, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I might get deported tomorrow.
That's true. Hey, but another thing to think about is like this balance that we try to find amongst ourselves is like sometimes we need someone else to help us find that balance. And you two, I think, bounce off of each other really well and work together, you know. And so that even though you don't have someone right there to cuddle next to, you still have him and then other people that you know, the people that you cut up and have those conversations. And so you still have
characters
that.
you work with, and
Yeah.
My homie
Rather-
George Roy. all those
whether it's in the
motherfuckers.
shop or at your dad's shop. Now you got 2 new characters that you know. So it's
But,
cool.
Whenever you're in the field, it's tough love. It's no.
Exactly. Yeah.
How are you doing? Nah, nigga,
Yeah.
we keep working.
Right.
What the fuck you talking about?
For real.
I'm sad
That-
today,
that-
bro.
but that's
We got
like
100 doors to make.
that's like a tough one when it comes to like you know, like having a conversation and like speaking your mind. What's,
Yeah.
you know, like as us guys and
As
shit,
a
like
professional, bro, all that shit does not matter.
me
doesn't.
with my brothers, bro. Like it's all tough love. Like I feel like I don't know what the fuck is going on with
I guess
them.
what I'm saying is, as a man, as a professional, all the emotional shit. Right now, I don't give a fuck. It's a podcast, so I can be emotional, you know. But when I'm working, I'm not gonna cry during the haircut or when I'm working and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Like, why-
you can't do that
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
like you
exactly.
imagine being in court and then just
break it down,
you
yeah.
got whatever the fuck
Could
is
be
going
like, I
on,
broke
you
up
gotta-
and shit. Like you're
no,
over here.
whatever's
Like,
going on, you gotta
Yeah.
look at the judge and be like, this nigga he didn't do it.
Yeah. This
Did he?
is what we want. This is what we need.
Yeah, even if your fucking puppy just died, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I 100% get that.
Shout out
too.
to all the kings out there, man.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too that so Latinx Landia has just created a group where you know they try to dismantle some of these things as far as like machismo, like xenophobia, you know, misogyny, things like that, right? Like
Being a little pudding.
we got to break those things up,
Yeah.
right? Like we're it's okay if we cry, bro. It's okay if we're emotional. It's okay if I tell you, yo, I'm not feeling good today.
Yeah, bro,
you
because
know?
there for a minute I was about to get up and just go. And then I was like, man, fuck it, bro.
Yeah, bro, it's all right. You know,
It's a
those
podcast,
are
nigga.
those are
Yeah.
things we gotta talk about for real.
Real shit. Yeah. Real
Yeah.
shit. We just got to make sure, man. It goes back to like checking up with the homies. You know, like hit them up. Hey, you all right? Have a great day and shit like that. That can make it can.
Or another
Yeah.
big one, if
Check on your
somebody
family.
hits you up randomly, like, what up, hey, what, just make sure they're all right. You know what I'm saying? Don't just
Yeah.
fucking, especially if somebody you fucked with. Because that's happened to me before where fuck it, I'll write it back later.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then I go party, come back, this nigga's dead. And then now I'm looking at my inbox and I'm like, damn, I have
yeah.
3 messages from
That's
this
gotta
nigga
be,
back
yeah.
to back. And I didn't answer.
Yeah.
Now he's
Yeah.
dead, so I can't even. So look out for your homies if they're really your homies. You
Straight
know,
up,
Real
Straight
shit.
up.
Real shit, man.
100%.
So, if you had to go back 5 years and you know tell yourself something, what would it be?
Ooh, bro. I really just 5 years was 23, bro. I think I've kind of stepped away from my family a little bit because I graduated law school. I got into the full-time job. I got married. I moved out of my house. And so I've kind of parted ways a little bit with my family. We still have our family time, but it's kind of still trying to mend that relationship, you know. So 5 years ago, I would have probably told myself, don't forget your family, and the reason you're here is because they helped you get here,
Yeah.
and they've always had your back. And so I think, you know, I fight myself on that sometimes. I beat myself up about it too, because I know, like you said, you know, sometimes my mom will hit me up, be like, I'll hit her up later, and then I'll forget, and then I hit her up the next day, and she's like, cabrón, ¿por qué no me contestas los mensajes? And I'm like, yeah, I should have
that
just
one,
hit
man.
her
Shout
up
out
real
to
quick.
my boy Vale, because he had a family member pass away in his family. So every time we'd be kicking it, bro, we'd be sipping whatever the fuck we were doing. If his dad called him, he'd answer. He'd be like, ¿Qué pasó? First ring. And I'd be like, damn, this nigga, every time his dad called. And then I asked him, I was like, bro, like every time your dad calls you. And he was like, yeah, bro, fuck that. He was like, I'm not doing that again. Like, if somebody calls you that you love, answer, bro. Because, nigga, what if they need you right there or whatever, you know? Like, because his brother had just passed away. So he was just
Yeah.
like, you probably, you know, you never know what happened.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
That nigga right there taught me to If your dad calls or your mom calls, answer, bro. Fuck it. Even if
No
you're
matter
with
what the hell you're
homies or
doing.
where the fuck you're
Or
at.
if you're banging and shit,
yeah, answer, bro.
answer.
Keep your phone on loud. That's one thing I've been working on too. Cause
Or let them know I'm doing this.
yeah, I keep my phone on silent. So I've been trying, cause if I go into the courthouse, my phone goes off. Dude, sure, you get put in jail for a day or two. But you know, that's one thing I've tried to change as well. Keep my phone on vibrate or on loud.
Is it like a violation, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Holy shit.
Judge
Just be
gets,
aware, man. Just be aware.
some judges will say, you know, just turn it off. Some judges will say, I warned you, da da da. You know, take your phone away, things like that. So just little things like that I got to be wary of too. And then, I mean, not constantly getting hit up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, this has to be crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
and it's always just something different. Like, yo, I got this going on. What can I do here? Yo, I got this going on. And I'm the one managing all those things. So I'm like, da 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 da.
Isn't it easier for you to like go on a live or something and answer those questions than texting? Because man, I hate doing that. Like,
Well,
when somebody will ask me a question about something, I'll just send them a voice message if I have that option. Because
I'm
it's
gonna
like
start doing that.
texting them is like, or just go live, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a Q&A this day, Friday, or
Yeah,
you know, just
that's a good idea.
That's
bro, I be having
and then
that
not
shit,
only
I'm
that,
just
bro.
like-
Like people get to see, because by text message they don't know your personality. They,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, like the energy that comes. So like doing a live, they get to see the answer. They get to see the energy behind the answer, and they got kind of get to know, like, all right,
Yeah,
he's
but
about
we
it.
may have to be start doing like a little 10-minute live on Facebook or some shit. I don't know.
Who?
Us, the half court.
Well, we started doing it, but it's
'cause
just
we're
so
not-
much shit to keep up
Yeah,
with.
we're
It's
just
like,
not- we're
fuck.
not- It's a
we're
lot.
terrible with the lives.
We're terrible.
Yeah.
We started
Terrible.
doing it a couple of episodes in, and I was like, man, it's just a lot. Like, I'm trying to keep up with the questions I'm going to ask. I'm trying to keep up with the sponsors now that we're doing sponsors, and it's
Yeah.
like a lot. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. Like, I sat down with the attorney I work with Lambert, and then another attorney in our office, and I said, you know, I feel like I'm not doing a lot of legal work. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, I just feel like I'm bringing in the work, and then I'm like trying to do something, but then I'm worried about another client that I'm trying to bring into the office. And they're like, you know what? They're like, focus on that. They're like, don't worry about the legal work. That'll take care of itself, or we'll handle it. They said half of the job is getting the client in the door. And that made me feel better about myself. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, that I can continue over here sending a message, or like
That,
you said,
I mean, you
I'm
just
gonna
gotta
move
make
into
sure
those
the
voice messages.
I mean, I'm sure you
Yeah.
are, but with that, you just gotta make sure the lawyers are really with the shit, you know, because if you bring
yeah.
a bunch of people and then the people aren't really doing what they're
And they want me, bro. They're coming to see me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
That's
part
your
of it,
name on the line.
part of it is the balance. You know, it's like, all right, I can bring you in, I can get you set up, but I trust my partner. I trust my partners to say I can handle this, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they're the experienced lawyers. They're the ones that have been doing it 15, 40 years. I'm a year in, so like, I'm helping you get to the right place so that I can get you the help that you need.
Yeah, because texting, man, like if they text you a question that you know it's going to be a complicated answer, it's like,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah, it's
you
usually
know, it's
always
like,
like,
fuck,
hey,
you
I'm
know?
always like, yo, I think we need to talk about this a bit some more, you know, let me get you into the office. kinda
Yeah.
deal. So it's those leads, you know, that we're
Yeah.
creating.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I appreciate everyone who like follows everything that I do, hits the share, hits the likes, man. All those things go a long way. Some people
Yeah.
don't get it yet. Some people don't know the power of social media. It's free.
That's what we're talking about too. We need, just hitting that share button. If
they'll
you can't,
see it. They'll see it.
yeah, if you can't
A
even
lot of
like,
people won't even tell you they see it. But
yeah,
they see it.
exactly. Like if they're selling you a product and you can't buy it at the time, but you want to support them, I think a like makes a big difference. You know,
Yeah.
Share.
So share, a like, you know, commenting, that all, you know, it's big.
Go ahead and hit that motherfucking subscribe button for us for the
While
one
you're
time.
at it, man, and if you're
Yeah.
listening, hit that subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Hit that subscribe on Spotify. You know,
Yep.
and that's it.
That's
That's
it.
it, bro.
So, I mean, anything else you guys want to add?
Nah, man. Shout out to Padrino for making this episode happen.
Big shout out to all of our sponsors today. Big shout out to AR&T Photography, Padrino for sponsoring us, and Callus Leather.
That boy right there is smashing the market.
Yeah.
What's Gucci, leather boy? Man, mad love, man. I got mad love for my boy Orlando,
Yeah.
man. He's one hell of a hustler, and you can just tell, man. He's
Yeah.
just like that good
Good vibes.
good guy. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Attorney Hernandez,
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you coming through, man.
No, I appreciate
one
you.
hell
We'll
of a
have you back,
podcast.
bro, because I know we
Real
gotta,
shit, yeah. We got to chop it up.
Yeah.
Even more.
I'm
man.
happy.
to.
I'm happy
Yeah,
to be
so
here.
we're gonna close it out. Peace.